Learn more about Army careers in science, technology, engineering, and math at goarmy.com. More than 150 soldier possibilities ready and waiting. We're here at the Esports Stadium, Arlington. This is the U.S. Army Presents Reload Collegiate CSGO Invitational. That's one mistake out of 3 days for that name, and I chalk that up. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But I'm Corey Dunn, and this is Jonathan O. And we're about to get into our final matchup of the day. Georgia Tech versus Pittsburgh. We saw them off the top of the show, and that game ended in a 16-4 nuke there for Georgia Tech. That was such a good game. Watching how the very first time of Georgia Tech, but we only saw one side of that there, John.
Yeah, we only saw one side of it, but it was really the only side we really needed to see. There was not much of a fight on the side of Pittsburgh. So I'm very curious to see how we see these bans and picks coming through. As we mentioned before, sometimes you don't even get the opportunity to get to the last pick or the decider, as we could say. And so there's many maps I see out here that we've already seen great showings from Georgia Tech. And I would love to see some life coming out from Pittsburgh here. Obviously, it's been the Georgia Tech show in the last match. And so if we could see some life out of Pittsburgh, I think that's what everyone wants to see. It's just a good match.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's what of course, that's why we're here. We want to see good competition through and throughout. I think what really got Pittsburgh from the very first matchup of the day, the fact that it is a best of 7. Just to kind of recap of what ended up happening is Georgia Tech elected to pick second. The reason why you do that in a best of 1 is the fact that you get the choice of the last 2 maps that were there. Whenever all the when all the bans were all figured out, it was left up to 2 maps. You had Mirage on one hand and you had Nuke on the other. And whenever you're a confident team like Georgia Tech, you play on a map like Nuke, and I don't think Pittsburgh was ready for a map like Nuke this early in the day. And so now I think it's a little bit different. You have the choice between deciding what types of maps that you want to go with. But let's go ahead, for those that haven't been with us all day, this is what you've missed so far. Here's a bunch of different games. You've got Georgia Tech versus Pittsburgh, which we talked about earlier. That was a 16-4 scoreline. Then after that, we waited a little bit for a Windows update that then took us into VCU versus Georgia Tech. That was a heck of a game. More importantly, it was a really good train game. It was one of the things we talked about all day yesterday is what we wanted to see, what we needed to see, and then today we saw it. Then that took us into this matchup, which is coming up here in just a moment, which is Pittsburgh versus Georgia Tech, our first and only best of 3 for today. How do you see this one shaping out, even though we've only seen a sliver of what Pittsburgh really is?
Well, if we see Nuke or Train, I feel that's a pretty confident stand for Georgia Tech. Pittsburgh, like you said, we haven't seen much of them, so it's hard to say what to expect. However, they did have their flashes of greatness in these rounds, so not all is lost for them. I think the real thing here is going to be defined on how well they can get around the map picks of Georgia Tech. As mentioned, they won't be able to ban both Nuke and Train before there's going to be able a pick coming through. So I bet we're going to see one of those, but I'm curious to see what map they want to pick for themselves.
Yeah, let's take a look at that right now as we've got the pick bans right here in front of you. Nuke was banned first. I wonder why. That makes a lot of sense. Whenever you lose your very first map of the entire tournament, Pittsburgh said, you know what, we're not leaving it up to a map like Nuke. And then immediately after that, you've got Dust 2 that was banned by Georgia Tech, which is what happened last time. Then after that left a choice to be made. What's kind of fascinating is last time Georgia Tech banned Inferno first, and so this time Pittsburgh said, you know what, we're doing Inferno. Then after that we've got Vertigo that came in by Georgia Tech. That was banned very first time. As I talked about before, before we even had the chance to be able to talk about this matchup, we discussed a little bit about how are you going to ban which one over the other, and there was a tough scenario for this team. As you take a look, you can see Pittsburgh right there at the bottom of your screen, they banned Nuke, which left Vertigo still open, and then that's what we're going to see. That's what Georgia Tech ended up picking, was Vertigo. So really, Georgia Tech has spent a lot of time on these very unique, peculiar style maps. And then we just saw what happened there for Pittsburgh. They saw how Train went. They have probably a lot of appreciation for VCU, and they probably assume that they don't want to have that same fate happen to them as well with a very close matchup. So they banned Train. And then Georgia Tech, looking at it last time, they saw that They wanted to get rid of Overpass because they knew that that would leave the final map, which is going to be Mirage, which that was going to be our actually, they banned Mirage last time to get to Nuke, and so that's really, they probably chose Mirage over Overpass just because that's what they feel comfortable with. I think those two maps are pretty close to one another, but that's how that one kind of shaped out.
And this did not go at all what I was thinking it would go, and strangely, they didn't get Train in a position in which I thought they would. Nuke being the first one, no surprise there. But the thing that the funny thing to point out, so Pittsburgh picks Inferno, which was Georgia Tech's first ban last time.
Yep.
And then we see Georgia Tech picking Vertigo, which was Pittsburgh's first ban last time as well. So they said, well, if you're going to pick our first ban, we're going to pick your first ban. And that's exactly how we're seeing it shaped up, and the decider being Mirage. So this is definitely new territory for both of these teams as far as this tournament. We're going to see a lot of life coming from both of them. So, Corey,
Yep.
I think it might be a little bit early to say since we haven't seen enough from Pittsburgh, but looking at the map pool in front of us, I think we've got a good amount of information on Georgia Tech's side, with Pittsburgh being the variable. What are your predictions?
I think Georgia Tech is a really good team. Watching them, how they played against VCU, Jay Park was playing really, really well there in that map. So one of the things that we'll be looking out for is on Inferno. Georgia Tech will be starting off on the counter-terrorist side. We were informed on that information, so we'll be seeing them there. So I feel very confident that we'll see some really good play style for them. So based off of the information that we have in front of us, I would be looking towards like a 16-7 in favor of Georgia Tech for the very first map.
Okay, well, I have learned my lesson, and day 3 is when everything sets in third time's the charm. I'm going to say 16-8, Corey.
16-8,
because I feel like you've been very close with your one-round swings. 16-8's the one I'm going with, because you have your feelings that you do, but there's no matter what, you're always going to be one round off.
Now, yesterday I was off by a lot because there's a 16-1, 16-2. That was completely out of
and that was
out
just
of picture.
unprecedented. We're gonna just call that one a wash.
All right, we'll just let that one go then. Is what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
All right, so we'll move on. So Georgia Tech is going to be starting off on the counter-terrorist side here against Pittsburgh, and we'll go over the rosters again inside of the game so we can give you a little bit of an insight of what to be looking out for. But man, I talked about it yesterday. A little bit about Inferno. It always kind of brings back some nostalgia for me. Is Inferno is that championship map. It is usually the deciding map. It's just always it's been one of those ones that I'm a huge fan of. The only detail though that I'm not a fan of that usually is if you've got a team that really knows how to leverage grenades, leverage utility. This map can be kind of slow. And so that brings us into the game where we've got, again, Georgia Tech starting off on the counter-terrorist side. Lucas and Scotty are going to be over there playing. They gave up the A-bomb site, but here comes the rush as they're actually going over towards the arch side. Are they going to wrap? They are, and they run into Danny. And now they're going to continue to push. But what is going on? Scotty's going to be right there. Scotty's going to pick up 2, and there's going to be Lucas. There's a trade. He's going to try to run away, but he takes the long route. He should have just challenged it. There's no way he's going to get out of that one. But it is now down to a 2-on-2. What a crazy little pistol round. And there goes Perry. Nice shot by Perry. And that's going to slow down Chris a little bit here. And Chris wins that fight. Hannercat, as we hopefully switch to another player here. So there you go. You got Chris here. And the bomb is planted right there over there towards Coffin, so he should have the assumption that he might get peeked back from CT spawn area. And there it is. Yep, he knows it now. But he doesn't have a kit, so he's going to chase after this one, and that's going to be the round already. That's going to do it. Great job there by Hannercat and Pittsburgh picking up the pistol round. That's a good start. Really interesting pistol round, though.
That's the first time we've ever seen a slow B-rush like that.
Well, I mean, what we saw was we actually saw an aggressive mid-push with a wrap, and a wrap to CT. That was crazy.
Excuse me, a delayed B-rush is perhaps what I'm looking for. They rushed B. They just took a detour.
They took the long route,
yeah.
The scenic route, which, sometimes, you need to stop by CT spawn.
Oh, they're going for the pyramid here. Look at that. That's setup. The gun range. I wonder if they're going to keep all 5 players there.
You know what the downside to this is, and I'm hoping I provide a caster curse here on this, is it never happens. You never see it. They never rush that way. I'm trying to push it. I'm trying to will it. It just never happens.
Well,
You're going to see all 4 players there, and there's going to be nothing that we're going to see from that. And the problem is if Scotty decides to peek outside of mid and he gets dropped quickly, they're definitely executing towards A.
Okay, it looks like they were trying to get a banana hit there. They see nothing, and now Scottio's starting to make his way towards mid. There goes a smoke, and now that should be the cue for them to run over. If he hit that shot, that could have been enough for his team to perhaps get it closer positions. But now they are swinging onto the side, and they're going to find that there is no one there. So that will give them the cue that at this point, if they haven't heard anything coming from Arch, they know they're coming from mid, and that will be Otter finding him towards 1. That is 2. Lucas, excuse me, not Otter. Bomb goes down. That was actually a team kill on the side of Georgia Tech. So Jay Park able to find 1. They get the Galil and they book it on out of there. Not trying to take that round, but take the gun rather. So that will staple 2 on the board for Pittsburgh. Already looking much better than they were on Nuke. Obviously still early to say. That's it in 16-4. But I will say the fights they're taking, the shots they're hitting, they're looking much sharper than they were.
Yeah, I wanted to see something like that round come into fruition. Seeing them push towards the B bomb site, it's just I had a feeling that we wouldn't get the chance to see it because we never do. We never do get to see how it executes. It's maybe like a 5% chance that it ever happens. So Pittsburgh takes the second round and barely contested it in it as well. And so we'll see. Can Pittsburgh continue, as it looks like Georgia Tech decided to buy here? They're leveraging the Galil that was picked up by J Park. A few weapons that don't have head armor, but that's not the end of the world. And J Park starts things off. We probably should stay with him at the start of every one of these rounds because he plays aggressive. He pokes and prods and then falls back. And I already like that. Parries out, and that's going to slow down Pittsburgh.
I slowed them down for sure, and so now we see Danny poking on out, trying to find anything he can. That's 1 player towards Banana. Scotty able to find him with the assist from Lucas on that flash grenade as Magister. And Stan is left with 8 HP, and now the bomb.
That's the most powerful weapon in the game.
The Galil?
No, the bomb.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yep. That's my John Madden stat for you for the day.
You don't have enough circling and Xing and arrows going through to be John Madden level yet. Sorry, Corey.
No, don't worry. I'll pull out the telestrator later.
Do we have one?
We'll get a bunch of happy clouds going.
I see a whiteboard. Oh no, they took the whiteboard.
Yeah, I took it away.
Dang, you took my whiteboard away. That's my rule number 1, Corey. Don't touch my whiteboard. But now we see a 5v2 situation. Hander catch, gonna try and take it through apps. Corey, just let me run with it, okay? I'm going to just run with it. Just stop talking about it.
That's my rule number 1.
Corey, just move on.
Don't take my whiteboard.
We're going to move on, Corey, as these players jump into pit, moving on from apartments and moving on from that round. That is the first round on the board for Georgia Tech. Pretty clean, only losing 1 player down in the midst of Chris, but they've got plenty of money to get him a gun. And now we will see no return on the side of Pittsburgh other than 3 AKs.
Smart round. I mean, the J Park getting that initial prod. Let's see if he does it again.
He's going to poke out, and no, he sees nothing. But they're going to hear something pretty soon. They're running through the Molotov, and that's going to be a call over from Scotty. He hears one, as you see the player, Lucas, giving him some support with that Molotov. That's going to slow them down for just a moment. We see a rotation coming over from Danny to support his teammates, and no, it changes his mind. Says, you guys got this. Leave it on your own. Don't you dare touch that chicken. That's right.
Aww.
Walk on by. Now we see Perry jumping his way into apps. Scotty finding a hit over on Banana. That's 1 in Magister.
I'm assuming it probably was a spray through the smoke there.
Keep something in mind. That was also the same player that went down last time first at Bananas Magister. So maybe starting to see a little bit of trend, knowing who's the entry fragger on the side of Pittsburgh. Danny now poking from Arch. Here's nothing still.
Interesting angle. That's very aggressive. Oh, that's why, because he was setting up for a pop. That makes a lot more sense. But he does throw down a Molly, and he catches one from the grave. As now it's got Chris here inside the side. Ooh, that was dirty. Perry with a nice headshot there with the AK.
Doesn't have the bomb, however, and Danny's standing right on top of it. As you mentioned, the most powerful weapon in the game, and he's got 35 seconds to obtain that. He's got to go for it here. If he saves his rifle and then gets taken out $350, he's just got to either go for the round or lose and at least get the money to be on level with his team. Danny's holding the angle, and he's going to take him out just like that. Perry had one nice shot onto Chris in pits, but doesn't have a nice shot. That is a second round here for Georgia Tech, tying it up as we go into the 5th round as money is shot on the side of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so a good couple rounds to start the game by Pittsburgh, winning the pistol round, then picking up the second one. But now we're seeing what Georgia Tech is all about. If you're also just joining us, this is a Group C of a 2-week-long collegiate CSGO tournament presented by the U.S. Army. Whichever team wins this one, we're currently in the lower bracket finals of the group. And so we're deciding who's the second team coming from here. But now they've got push up there. They're going to challenge it. Lucas, what are you doing? There's no reason for this. And he challenges it, and guess what? He says, here's a door. It's wide open, unlocked. Just come on in, and gives it up. And now they're going to go ahead and push here into the site. But the bomb carrier does get dropped, and the bomb does get picked up.
He threw it over in time, so that is at least going a bomb down and 2 rifles out of the hands. And it is all up to Magister. He's got already 1 in this round, not able to find 2 as Danny picks him up. Takes a lot of damage in the meantime, but that's not the matter. That's going to be the 3rd round on the board for Georgia Tech. Solid take from them, just trying to pick up every little bit that they can scavenging. They left the door open, and now they're just trying to take home all of the pieces.
Hey, I mean, they were able to go in there and rob.
Oh, no, Chris, no. Oh.
How else are you going to have some chicken nuggets?
Corey, I'll have you know for lunch. For lunch, I ordered veggie burgers. So
oh goodness, you ordered a veggie burger.
And yesterday we had burritos and burrito bowls, and I actually had the tofu protein. So
that's
still on my
that's good of you.
light meat train. Well, I don't have anything against anyone who eats it. Just personally trying to set goals for myself as we're going back into the match. Round number 6. We see the AKs coming online for Pittsburgh. We've seen some crazy shots already out from Pierre, and he, once again, is keeping himself with the par.
Oh, no!
Oh, Lord.
Scotty, no! Scotty, no! As he does. Oh, sad day.
He was going for the 6K, Corey. Is really was what he wanted. Now Danny's going to get smoked out.
He's not a Phoenix, and he doesn't have a Sage with him.
Oh, Valorant. Okay, I was thinking what are you talking about?
Give you some time. Oh, man. All right, so they're going to be wrapping around. They've got one player that's over inside of construction. The bomb carrier is going to continue to progress. They are split. Why are you splitting up? There's no reason to split up. It doesn't help you any. As let's see if Danny's just waiting to see if anybody tries to jump on top of oranges. This is a tough angle, and Danny wins the fight. Now it's down to a 2-on-2. Chris is going to have to hightail it over there. They both have kits. They've got smokes and flashes to work with. They're going to smoke over there. They're going to see another nade coming in there. Bad smoke coming in. That's actually not going to be able to help them enough, but he's going to go ahead and be aggressive. Decided to try to be able to push through. Now they're going to shoot through. They're going to give up his complete position. And you didn't have to shoot there, Danny. The bomb is going to explode, but Chris does take away one of the weapons there, and that's going to do it.
Get the up and run!
And that's not going to happen. He's got to maybe he can throw it towards CT spawn, and it will spawn right there with him. But Pittsburgh doing a good job picking up that round. Again, they were way too aggressive, and more importantly, Danny, who was it? Scotty O was the one that eliminated his team. I just can't remember. Was it J Park? No. I can't remember who he dropped.
Well, him and Lucas had been playing on the B side, so we can make the assumption that it was him. But I think something that was pivotal in that last round, it looks like they called for a save, and then Danny found one pick, and they said, dude, go for it. You've got kits, you've got armor, you've got everything, and now they don't have J Park, and so that's an interesting point. As we saw last time, every time he was the first one to die on the round, he was the... That ended up being a round lost for them. But Scotty able to find one pick. Not his teammate this time, but getting taken down by Magister. So it's a 3v4, and it's shaping up to be a slower round. The bomb is still at the spawn, so they don't have to make aggressive moves here. Lucas actually rotating over to the A site to pick up. It looks like there was something in the spawn that he wanted to pick up, but there was nothing there. He perfectly turned around at the exact moment where he got to spawn, and it just seemed like his team said, nope, just stay there. Now we see the scout on Danny. Oh, my goodness! One head goes through the other, and that is all of a sudden a 3v2.
Yes. What a shot there from Danny. Can he do it again? That's going to build up.
Oh, my God, he had it lined up.
Oh, man, that was nice. So Chris now inside the site.
Oh!
Make it a 2, can he? Can he buy one? Oh, as Otter evens things back up, and now it's left up to Lucas. Lucas, he's looking for his second frag of the game. He knows that he's inside of the site, how fast that bomb was planted, but he's now giving up his angle. Oh, no. I mean, it's smart to be able to pick up the AK. He doesn't have any armor. Otter has not been touched yet, and all the timing.
Oh, no
he
way.
now knows he's there. He's checking his sight. He's checking his angles. Otter's still waiting for him to push up on this angle here, and that's going to do it. Lucas was trying to flush him out and didn't realize that he made his way out. Again, my point that I was trying to make is, and we can take another look here. Dink.
Oh,
that was dirty. Very dirty. But the point I was trying to make about Lucas is I get the fact that he was trying to find himself a better weapon, but he knew exactly where Otter was. And you try to keep him there. And as soon as he went to try to pick up the AK, he let him go. So 4-3, Pittsburgh now taking the lead here. And there's just been some odd buying going on here for Georgia Tech.
I was just about to mention that. We saw all the utility, all the guns purchased, and then we have a deagle on the side of Scotty. So he's going to find two. Is Jay Park. That's an opening. And as we see, the trend continues with Jay Park finds a kill at the beginning. They tend to win those rounds, and when he gets picked off, they tend to lose those rounds. He's 9-4 on the scoreboard, so pivotal part of this team, able to stay alive and find a pick. Slowing down Pittsburgh now. They got out of the apartments, and they're slowly making their way towards B. That is the site in which we see a deagle and an M4. Danny still holding on to AWP towards Arch. And now we see Scotty boosted up in the case of Smoke. They try to run through. The Smoke is equipped on the side of Magister, it seems like. Yes, it is. He's going to throw that down. They're going to run right on in behind it. They might not be expecting this boost. They do not. Scotty instantly taking his head off, and Stan able to find the trade onto Lucas, and now they're just rushing the site. Scotty trying to get a different position on construction, able to get mollied off, and now followed up by the Smoke. They have the site. They have not yet planted the bomb. It is going down shortly. Actually, they still have not started planting. There goes Otter getting it down. Back of site, trying to anchor down. The rotation is here, and so is Jay Park finding one, but getting traded. Danny finding the trade, and now it's turned into a 2v1, a 1v1. Stan getting a 3K at the end, finding two headshots, keeping the team alive with a 4K. That is round number 5 on the board for Pittsburgh.
Great control by Stan. Wow. Good job by Stan here. As we're going to catch all the perspectives of all the players that he was eliminating all the way to the very end. But again, he took out Danny and then took out another player and then swung over there towards the coffins to get his third kill and making it 4 in the round. Pittsburgh's playing extremely well. As for Georgia Tech, I don't know what's going on. I think they're being too aggressive on the CT side.
Yeah, look at this. They're going for 5 people on the B site. Last time we saw them do this, they made the Triangle of Doom, as so some might say.
I think it was a square. There's 4 of them.
Yeah, I wasn't very good at geometry in school. I was good at math, but that's a different level. Once you start adding shapes and sides to it, that's where I fell off the board. That's why you're a creative and I'm not, Corey. So as we're getting into the round, we're seeing they're actually flanking through mid. Oh, shooting too early, but still able to take him, Scotty. Finding himself one, but Magister just says, okay, well, we'll exchange for that. Sees one more, and he's going to get himself 4. Has to reload. Oh.
That's just
oh, that's
not nice.
just rude there. All up to J Park and a CZ. Otter's getting the bomb down. He's going to run out. He's going to find one. That's going to take the AK.
Ooh.
No way. No way. No way, Corey. My heart rate started to jump up. He had the crosshair on his head, not able to control the spray. Because if he found that one, there was no one else in immediate sight of him. Oh, wow. Man.
That was gonna get really intense really fast.
Stan, we saw at the 4K last round. Jake Park was about to say, hold my beer, and I'm gonna do it myself. What doesn't happen is that's a 6th round on the map pick of Pittsburgh. 6-3 in round 10. Money looking good for both. Excuse me, not looking good for both teams. But Magister finding Scotty right off the bat. Not able to convert. And Jay Park finding Pierre over on the side of the apartments. And now they're just pushing on through. He's not going to expect another one in Hannercap, but is able to get away.
Yeah, I think the fact is that we just didn't get enough information about Pittsburgh. I think the nuke call-out was ending up on the first time that we saw these two teams play together on nuke. I don't think we got enough information. Pittsburgh is playing so well. And I think you got a couple players from Georgia Tech that are getting a little over antsy and being too aggressive. And now they're going to see the quick rotate here. You got 3 players coming in from Pittsburgh, heading towards middle. There's going to be only one contest. That's going to be J Park, but J Park has been so crucial to Georgia Tech. I think they're going to be able to let them be able to push in here towards the site. As soon as the bomb gets planted, he's going to go ahead and peek, and he's going to peek out at the right time. They're going to assume that this bomb site is completely clear, but he's got to be able to look out for the player inside of pit. There is going to be one. Bomb has not made his way in there. He's going to be able to pick up 2 right there. Bomb is inside of the site, and there goes all 3 of them. Great play by J Park, picking up 4 kills in the round, 6-4 in favor of Pittsburgh, but great control by J Park, playing it so smart and by the book.
He is 15-6, Corey, in round number 11. Lucas, slow to catch up in this game, but we saw he had a great performance on the other side of Train in that last series. Nice. Only taking 1 damage for that Molotov. Look how fast he's out here. We saw this yesterday from Glaze, getting super aggressive, unable to even match the tempo. He finds 2 right off the bat. Didn't even need to do that. This is a pistol run. Keep that in mind, Corey. Well, that's great and good that he finds 2.
It was good.
It's great and good that he finds 2, but he also provides them an AK.
They've got 2 AKs that they're playing with, one of which they bought from previously or in this round. So they went with they fully bought out whatever they could. So there's Deagles and then an AK. The difference is that I think Perry or Magister had an AK, as J Park dropped them, and they've now got another AK. And Scotty was currently on flames. He's gonna have to backtrack here. That was just I don't know why they threw that. I think maybe they were starting to push up too far.
Man, it looks like they thought, okay, they used their utility early. Let's try and take the hit. So now there's only 1 player in Scotty.
Oh man, this is not good.
Flashbang whiffs, however, and they stack up for him. That's going to be 1. That's going to be 2. What a hole from him. Stan still has the bomb, and we saw 4K come out from him last time. He's got to do it again. He's got the smoke down. He's got at least 1 player to deal with. He's in construction, but he doesn't know that. Playing towards the coffin, and now another player has joined in the fray, and that is Danny, as Stan slowly starts making his way to the site. He's got it all to do. He's got the bomb, he's got a Molotov, and he's got a smoke. He's going to get a setup for himself, but he's only got 20 seconds to do it. And he's going to find 1 in the Scotty, and now Danny's going to try and peek his head around. And Stan, had he had that fight, both players were on the A site, and that could have been another 4K for him. But Georgia Tech getting round number 5 on the board. We head into round number 12, 6-5, having a competitive match here on the map pick of Pittsburgh, Inferno.
Great control. I discounted Scotty too early, and then watching what he did there, he had really good control on that M4. And then you saw how fast Pittsburgh was trying to run away. There's J Park inside of mid.
You guys
he speeds him. Can he do it? No, he does not. He does give away an AK. There's Danny with the op. He drops the player that picked it up. That was Hannercat.
Have you ever watched Breaking Bad, Corey?
I did not.
Okay. Never mind then, as I'm going to move
Wasted.
on. Some people, as soon as I saw J Park that forward in position, there was a quote from that show that I just couldn't help but to think. And so for those Breaking Bad fans at home, I think you might know which one I'm talking about, but we won't say anything more about that. As we see both players coming through mid, one coming through boiler. Stan's got the AK. He can do some damage with it, and he does. Finding Lucas, but actually doesn't take that much damage in return, so they've got a fighting chance now. One player from pit is Chris. Molotov's going to slow them down, and holding the angle is Danny.
All right, so Scotty is going to throw this smoke here, and that's going to slow him down, but he doesn't realize that they're not there yet. He probably could have waited a little bit longer. He knew that there was going to be a challenge that could have happened. I'd say probably about right now is whenever he should have thrown the smoke, based off of just knowing the timing of this map. And so that smoke's going to dissipate before they even really get there. So they're still going to continue to walk up. Danny's going to have the angle still. He's going to have to make the early call out. He sees one. That's a good pickup there. And that's a good flash to slow them down even further. He's got this angle. Stan does not have a smoke or a flash. No utility to use here. So he's going to be peeking dry. Shoulder peeking. Good job by Stan by shoulder peeking that one. He will get the bomb planted. They're going to kind of flood in as fast as they can. But Stan doing a really good job on that AD peek and baiting out the op shot. That's the way you play it. And Stan's made his way towards the towards construction. Holding coffins, they're both good. They might line up for him. He's low on health and shoots him through the coffin. Great job by Stan. Again, winning that one. No utility, 1-on-3. Great job by Stan the man, ZQ of Pittsburgh.
That's another 4K clutch for Stan. He has put the team on his back so many times so far. He found himself in the exact same position last round, but this time he's able to close it out. 13-9
Great
on that
round.
young man right there.
Good job by Stan.
Oh my God, Scotty. That is dirty.
Good night. As Scotty's, he's been feeling it, though. He's been playing pretty well now. He's currently at 11-10 overall through this game, but I think it's at these latter rounds where he's really starting to shine here. Picks up his second one in the round, and he's unscathed. His teammate, Lucas, took all that damage. The Eagles coming out. There's 2 kills for Chris. Chris going to backtrack for try to use this AK that he's picked up. Magister drops 2. What a turn. He turns on Danny. What did Danny do to you?
Well, now he's Danny Phantom because he is just a ghost in this server. It's on to Magister, has to close it out with the 1v5 clutch ace. And he knows where one's at. He can hear Scotty moving around. That's making a lot of noise, but J-Park getting him from the back. Good challenge there from the team. And that was a full pistol round, Corey, or a full deagle round coming after the side of Georgia Tech. And that's going to send us to 7-6. If they had more players alive, they could have had more rifles, but I'm sure they are happy with what they have now.
Oh, they're absolutely happy. I mean, picking up the round, winning the round that fast, too, meaning that they were able to have time to find weapons as well. They were very picky about the weapons they've got. You can see that Danny's now got the op. He's definitely their main opper. So he'll probably be aggressive. He's got a really good spawn here for mid, and see if he gets a peek down and see if he can pick up this first shot. He will be challenged by Otter, though. And so we see the molly coming out. Otter's already got the angle. He is not going to peek it. You can see right there, there's Otter. He probably would have won that fight, but Otter now sees, wait a minute, there's 2 players way too close to me now. And they're gonna hold this choke point now.
Funny enough, Otter's reaction was the same as mine as we saw J-Park in that position. Just saying, well, yeah, exactly. Uh-oh. Getting on out of there. And J-Park looking for his 20th kill in this half, in round number 14. As we see, it looks like they're starting to stack towards the A site. We haven't seen an A hit in quite a while. It's been the Stan show. We stand on the B bomb site, it seems like, is the Pittsburgh strategy. And so it looks like they're trying to take an A hit this time around. We see Hannercat just on the side of the wall. Magister, excuse me. Chris was here last time, so is he going to peek? Not yet. Just trying to play it slow. They still have a minute. They still have some utility to work with. The second that goes out, they've got to go behind him, but Danny able to find one in mid. That's going to shake up the odds a little bit there. They don't know Lucas is there, but Magister able to find Danny now, and that's going to get the opening on the back of sight. Now they don't know that Chris is there. Pierre's going to find him there, and now he's going to poke out. Good trade there from Magister. That's going to open up the sight. Lucas finding a trade onto himself, and Magister getting a 3K. He's got potential for the ace, and they still have not gotten the bomb down. It is so far away. That's an awkward exchange. I thought they were teammates. And Magister closing it out.
Ace, yeah, picks up the ace. Really good control. Magister, you can tell that he is definitely one of those. You called it out early. He's an entry fragger, and that is exactly what he is. He's got really good control, watching proper angles as he gets into the site. The last part of that round was unfortunate, but man, really good job by Pittsburgh. Magister in control, winning a lot of gunfights. And here they go. They're going to push. Oh, Scotty O says no.
As soon as he entered, he exits out. And, oh, man,
Ooh,
Lucas finding a shot of his own. So these Deagles are so strong from Georgia Tech. This is going to be the round before the half. They're trying to put it on the line there. Lucas finding another one going through the smoke. It is a 3v2. The bomb has not gone down yet. And these players are getting positioned. J Park's going to find it. There goes the bomb on the ground. He's going to find the next one. And that's going to close us out for the half. J Park with 21 on the board on favor of Pittsburgh. 8-7. Holy cow, Corey. What a game we've got ahead of us. And this is a best of 3. If this is what we can expect for the rest of these matches, I am absolutely pumped. Here you go. You're seeing J Park finding 1 and finding 2. It was the MAC 10, so not really much of a fight to put up there. I'm really excited to see what they've got on this T side. This has been fantastic.
Now that was awesome to see. Now we finally get to see for the very first time what Pittsburgh is like on a counter-terror side. We only got a few rounds watching on Nuke, but so far, Pittsburgh, thank you. This has been a really good game to watch, as there's going to be an all-out rush heading over here towards the B-bombs, and there's 3 players inside the site from Pittsburgh. There goes Otter dropping 1. They've got control right now. Stan's he's looking for his second one, and he does. Left up to Lucas. Lucas is getting in there a little late, but see he can do here. The smoke has gone away. That's how long it took him for him to be able to get over here towards his site. Lucas now just holding there. Down to this 1-on-2. He's got no health. He's at 12 HP at this point. Bomb is dropped in the back corner of the bomb site over by oranges.
Yeah, these players don't have to move. That's the difference, though. Lucas has to make the move, and all it takes
He
one
saw
shot.
the
He saw the
shadow.
shadow.
He calls it
Exactly.
out.
You are right. And
Yep.
so Lucas not going to see any peeks and stand, finding the 3K on the B bomb site. Surprise, surprise, he's playing there. That's got to feel good if you are Pittsburgh. Getting the pistol, that's going to give them a few more dollars to work with in this round on the side of Georgia Tech. They have got nothing. I doubt we'll see any investment. We see on Jade Park actually getting a smoke and 2 flashes. So it looks like they might be trying to go for, yeah, it looks like an A apartment hit this time. They're going to be making some noise, nothing too expected so far.
See what J Park does with those nades here. And they're taking their time. There will be an A execute. I'll call out this for everyone at home. So right now you've got Hanner Cat that's inside of pit. He's joined there with Perry as well. On the other side, you've got yep, there it is, Magister, who is watching inside of mid before they execute. Back over to J Park. He's actually, there goes the smoke supply. Already happened. Already was executed inside the site. Here they come into they're falling into. They just cannot hit the shots. And Hannercat has picked up 2. Perry's got 2 for himself. And Magister says, "I'm gonna find you, J Park, but this time I'm gonna have my weapon out and I'll eliminate you even faster." 10-7 in favor of Pittsburgh. Really good execute there by Georgia Tech. They just could not hit shots.
What happened there on pit? The player jumped down with and he got on with the MP7, and then he ran out of bullets, and then he lived.
Close quarter, long gunfights is what we just saw, and that just shows how off those shots were from both sides. But it was a really good execute, and then they just couldn't actually shoot anybody.
And there goes J Park. First one to go down in Corey, as we've been mentioning, he's been the catalyst for this team of Georgia Tech, and him going down first has spelled disaster for that of their team, and at least in the round. So we'll have to see if that trend continues. But he only had a MAC 10. Now his team has 8 Ks. So still lots of damage potential on the table, as they're only going against 2 FAMASas, 2 MP7s, and then 1 M4 in the hands of Stan, who is on that B bomb site.
All right, Magister just ADing right now. As soon as he sees somebody, he'll toss down the smoke, delay them for a little bit if they decide to push through said smoke. There you go. There's the smoke coming in a little bit later. And Magister is going to continue to AD. He's basically baiting it out for his teammate that's right next to him at this point in time, but he's at low health as well. He's got 12 HP. That is Otter, who's up on top. He's been boosted up onto the potted plants ledge there. There he goes, going to be able to bait out a little bit longer. Still trying to be trying to create some noise. And there you go. Otter lets them get into the bomb site, so it delays them even further. They get comfortable, and now he's got 46 health. He's going to allow his teammates to regroup with them. Chris does a quick little check to make sure he has been boosted back up. Scotty on the back. I think he may have stalled over the top of something, because I don't think the smoke was gone yet. And there goes Danny. Danny's gotten 2 left up to Perry. And there's some taps. He's basically checking all angles except for where they're at, and that's 10-8 in favor of Pittsburgh. That was a good take there by Georgia Tech.
Indeed it was, and so that's showing the low health on the side of, I believe it was Otter, showing to be a little bit of an issue on that B bomb side. They didn't want to get too aggressive because they didn't want to get taken out too early, but working on favor Georgia Tech. So J Park going down from the start wasn't too big of an impact. They were still able to take it, hold it on their own, and that's what it is. It's a team game. Can never rely on one, and that goes down in Scotty in mid. 4v5 from the get-go. We'll see how they try to take this approach this time. We're still seeing the similar setup, but this time Otter with an AWP holding down Banana. That is a much deeper task to handle, and they might not expect that, because if you look on the side of Hannercat and Stan, they only have pistols.
Yeah, I wish looking at that. I mean, it's still doable. They wanted to be able to buy it. Now, the fact that Stan is at 2100 is kind of an interesting where he's at, where he decided to buy. But it doesn't. We won't linger on that for too long, because the action is going to happen here towards the A site, and they've got 4 players over there. They've left Otter by himself over inside of B, and he's not going to see anybody. Oh, but will he? That's going to be the question. I think they were trying to bait them out, trying to draw them out a little bit further. Magister's going to hold this angle, and he peeks out wide, and Stan with...
Oh!
So that's why. Okay, got it. CZ in hands of Stan. The Stan ZZ was... drops 2. Wow. Man. Stan's he's a fun player to watch.
He's absolutely taking control of the server right now. He's doing it all. He's winning these fights with the pistols. We were even talking about how the pistols, you know, they can't make that much impact, and that they're trying to stack them towards the site. And the pistols are the only ones that have gotten kills this round so far. It seems like the CZs and then the Deagles finding the luck on the side of their side.
Not a lot of time.
He's got to run in here.
Oh, nope, that's it.
Yep. I was about to say he won't even get on site on time, so he's just got to live. If he were to die here, that would be absolutely nuclear, but fortunately for J Park, no one is in the area. So that's going to be 11-8 in favor of Pittsburgh. We saw a lot of momentum out the gates from Georgia Tech, but since then it has been all Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't think we had a big enough sample size from Pittsburgh.
And if we look back in their CSL rankings, they're 11-1 in their group, so that's absolutely nothing to fret at. I mean, I just really think they just got caught completely off guard on Nuke. It's what it seemed like.
Yeah, these players are playing so well.
It's a completely different team.
Magister is his entries are something out, and Stan is just a clutch player, super clutch. And you can see Otter holding down the B site. So I think they've got a really good, solid team here for Pittsburgh.
Make the difference here. His money's low on both sides, so Danny's starting off the pick at Boiler against Magister. The entry fragger is down. He's having a good game. He's 20-15. Now they're taking the hit through mid. They've got the sight, or excuse me, they don't have the sight just yet, and now they're just slowing it down, perhaps thinking there might be an over-rotation, and they're trying to take their luck over onto B, where it's being held down by Otter with AWP at Coffin. They've got some utility to work with. They got what they need to get onto the site and hold. If they're able to get Otter and take minimal damage, this could be their round. There's no rotation coming yet from the side of Pittsburgh. The smoke's going to go out momentarily, and I believe as soon as we see this utility, yep, look at that. 3 people coming on over from Pittsburgh. We're going to see how much Otter can hold on here as they're stacking head-to-head, and the bomb is going to go down in just a few seconds. They haven't checked all their corners, but they're confident that they have the site at least. And there goes Otter. That's how they know that's the beginning, and the bomb starting to get planted. But this is where Stan's Haven is at. He is the B player.
Yeah, good
it
job
is
by
all
Scotty.
down to him to get the ace. I wouldn't put it behind him. They have no idea that he's there. But this entry on Chris is going to start it off. They now know where he's at. This is now his position is compromised. He's got 4 people to go up against. He's got a kit, but he's fighting his one-on-one individual fights. J Park's not had it. He is 24-12 himself, having a great game, leading the server, and that is 9 rounds for Georgia Tech, 11-9.
Now, you had Scotty, who was actually watching there towards Banana. He shut down that area by himself with the AK. And so now you're going to see it. Pittsburgh is on a save.
Look at that knife, Corey. I'm just saying, look at that knife. You know, I was talking about earlier doing all my tricks. That's the knife. That just, something about it just seems so smooth and so clean that.
Sure, you should buy it.
Ugh, Corey, I was really hoping, you know, you'd be like, yeah, John, I could do you solid. You're doing such a great job. I'm going to reward you with this knife. But we can try.
We have 2 weeks of this. I'll let you know.
Hey, you got to shoot your shot, right? That's what I tried to do. And so it looks like Magister's trying to shoot his shot up against that player. And, wow, just got destroyed. The entry fragger once again being exit fragger for his team. So it seems now that's another one going down in Hannercat. Lucas getting the job done in Apps. And it seems like they're going to once again take it slow and head back to never mind. They found a pick in mid, and now they're just going to run with it. Oh, that's a team kill coming up from Danny. That's going to suck, but it's fine. They've got the money, and at this point, if they know it's Otter, they have a feeling that he's at B, so they're just going to rush the site. They're going to check their angles. They see no one's there. The bomb's going down, and if you're Otter, you're going to be looking for an AK here. There's one actually in mid to where he is walking. But watching the angle is Danny.
Yeah, he's going to bait that AK out.
Oh, my goodness, he missed. And now, if I'm Otter, you are booking it.
Yeah, he's going to take the zigzag path.
Sick 'em, boys. Look at that. They're just dispersing off site. And there you go. They found him out in broad daylight. Scotty finding himself the closing kill, and that is 10-11. Georgia Tech starting to fight their way back in behind the broken economy of Pittsburgh, as now we see a pause coming through. Not a timeout, a pause, so trying to figure out what's going on here as Corey reaches for his laptop to see maybe some comm issues or maybe something going on there, but we will diagnose that and try to jump back in as soon as we can. So interesting takes here from both sides. It seems like Georgia Tech, whenever they're able to find one pick at the beginning of the round, they pretty much immediately just flood a site. And we saw that last time. They slowed down and take a B hit, and we'll have to see as we go into round 22 here. Seems like all players are ready, so not sure what we're waiting on. Corey, do you have an update for us?
I do not.
No update. So twirling our thumbs, and seems like we twirled our thumbs fast enough to get this match going. And gone. Straight back into a pause.
Let's see if well, sometimes it happens by accident. You paused on pause. I've got no notifications at this point to let me know what is going on. This is the beauty of online play. So we'll find out why we're seeing what we're seeing.
There we go. It seems like we've got this timer. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. We saw this, but third time is the charm, Corey. 11-10 in favor of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they've found themselves with 1 MP7, 3 smokes, 2 flashes, P250s, a 5.7, and a CZ. Money not looking great, but next round they will have enough loss bonus if they lose this round to buy themselves a lot of good stuff. So now it seems like they're trying to take a fast A apartment hits, but Lucas calling that out and finding one from afar. That it has to be so annoying, just getting sprayed through the wall like that. It's like, all right, we're going to try something cheeky, and they get destroyed for it. But I will say great awareness here for Georgia Tech to even sense something like this coming. So they're going to send 2 players there. They're going to find 1, and they're going to find 2, and another team kill. That's the 3rd team kill here for Georgia Tech.
Still okay. No,
it's still totally fine, but what is not totally fine is that here's guy all the way to the,
oh, man. He wanted it.
Okay, back to not being totally fine. Once again, the last player is Otter. And if history has told us anything, is that he plays B. And if he finds 1 pick here, that was the bomb carrier. But Luke is finding himself a nice round. 3 Ks for him. Even though it was the pistol round, that's starting to feel a little bit good. Padding those stats, making that stat line look a little bit more balanced. As we see here, the leaders on the server are Magister with 20, Stan with 19 on his team. And now Jay Park, 24, leading the server. Scotty with 19, and Danny with 18. It's a pretty well distributed stats there. Otter once again making his way on over to
Glass
Banana.
cannon.
That he is. No armor, no anything. He's got a P250. In the case the AWP isn't enough for him, and Scotty trying to find his own way in. It's like when you bounce the basketball off the backboard and dunk it to yourself. That's kind of what that reminds me of.
Because you've done that so many times.
Oh, Corey, I'm 7'6". That's the only thing I can do, because I can't do layups, right?
That's right.
I'm not bothered by the fact, and we're going to get back into the match. It's 11-11. You know, Corey, there was actually a point in time where I got pretty close to dunking.
Yeah, so we've got, it's interesting on the counter-terror side for Pittsburgh. They've got 4 players, no head armor. They bought, I'd rather have utility, but there's not a lot of utility there either.
Really feeling comfortable behind these guns is Pittsburgh. We have seen some great shots out of them. But like you mentioned, it is AKs. The head armor is going to get shot through one way or another, so maybe it's not too much of a disadvantage. But like you mentioned, the utility is the name of the game here. And we still see 3 smoke grenades on the side of Georgia Tech. And last time we saw this, they went B. And it looks like they're going to do that once again. They probably have a feeling that Otter's here with an AWP, so look at that. Chris, let's follow this smoke and see where it lands. I think it's going to go with 2 coffins, and that is exactly where Otter's at. He might actually have a forward position. He gets 1 before the smoke blooms, and that's going to call for a rotation on over.
Yep.
Otter once again finding himself in the backup side and making his way into construction, where he's going to be joined by Magister, the entry fragger. They've got to get the bomb down. They're allowing a lot of time for rotations, with 2 players actually still sitting on the A site of Pittsburgh. Curious as to why they haven't started rotating over.
They don't want to get baited out of it. There's a likelihood that they could have gotten baited. All that Otter had seen was 2 players as they pushed in, but did not see the bomb. So that's why they didn't overreact to it. But it will hurt them in the end. As here comes Danny. Danny's gotten a 2, and there's your 3rd. And there goes Scotty. He's picked up 1 as well. Georgia Tech starting to play really well here.
And Corey, that's exactly what you mentioned. The utility, they just had to take these peaks. Like, look at that, 1, 2, and 3, and then click is gonna go the head. Bye-bye. That's a nice round and a nice hole from him there. And that's that. When you don't have the utility, that's just the hand that you're dealt. You have to run into the bullets and hope that your aim is better in those moments. But if someone knows how to controller spray as good as Danny's, that's pretty much what the result's gonna look like. Now we see Magister taking a fast route with the CZ. We saw how much success we saw with Jay Park. He sees someone and goes, oh, nope. Well, maybe not. He wants to take the fight. If he's able to take one of these guns away, we've seen a lot of damage done with these CZs throughout this series, especially on this map, and that's really the only map we've seen of this series because this is map 1, Corey. Getting a little bit ahead of myself. It's 12-11, Georgia Tech. They're starting to get a little bit uncomfortable at the ranges that they were at. I felt like the CZs were going to do some damage there. They finally find Magister, made a lot of noise as they did it. And now they are seeing 4 players making their way over to the A site. This guy's going to smoke himself out. As he seems oh so familiar doing so, Otter's still holding on to the B site for now. We're seeing Stan Indecisive going back to B. The bomb finding its way up through mid. And Pierre is got the deagle.
Here comes the first flash. That's going to allow them the initial entry. He's going to go ahead and volley over there. Deagle peeks out. He finds himself in front of several players. Oh, there. Nice shot by Hanner Cat. Looking for his second. Still not going to be enough.
Very smart of him to take the time he needed. They didn't see him yet. At least line up one shot. Guarantee him at least one. Getting too crazy there. Walk away was 0, but now it is the retake. They don't have any kits and they only have pistols. So there we see Otter being taken down by Jay Park. And the last one is Stan versus Jay Park is going to be easy for him. 27 on the board as far as his kills, and that is 13 for Georgia Tech. So the money, once again, is going to be broken if Pittsburgh does not win this round. So if they lose this one, that might spell a 15th, in which case Pittsburgh has to play for overtime. The money looking fantastic on the side of Georgia Tech, so this is going to be a gauntlet for Pittsburgh if they win this round. Either way, we're going to have to keep it close, and it looks like Scotty's trying to make a fast apartment move, meaning a Molotov, and now it's Pierre. He's going to see it. Actually, he's boosted on the other side, excuse me. He's using the X-rays to assume where players were at. And as you can see him, there he is. Thank you for showcasing that. Now he's watching Boiler with Magister. There goes the Molotov, don't want him to push. I think that could have waited just a little bit. But now Chris is going to smoke off Arch. Oh, excuse me, that's a... okay. I thought that was a flash grenade for some reason, but I was correct in where I stood the first time, so maybe I should have a little bit more faith. But now, taking a slow approach, getting slowed down by these Molotovs. They got 1 minute. That was a good flash grenade. They're going to act on that. Pierre finds one, not able to find the next, but Magister's got his back and finding the trade onto Danny. That doesn't trigger any rotations just yet, as the bomb is still down, and there's only 3 players left here for Georgia Tech. We're starting to see a slow move on over, however, by Stan. Otter's still holding his position, back of sight with the AWP, finds the shot onto Jay Park, and he was being contested, doesn't find the second, and now he's taking down the 14, still alive. Stan throwing some utility, trying to support his teammate, and the Molotov goes down. 30 seconds on the clock. They find Otter, but they have to run through the Molotov, and that's a CT smoke. You see the rotation coming through, and Stan finding his position and construction. That is the bomb being planted. And they have no utility to work with other than a smoke grenade and a flash of the 2 flash grenades of Georgia Tech. We're going to hang on with Chris here. No, we're not. We're going to hang on with Lucas. Back to Chris.
Don't chase.
2 players going from construction, not able to find the first shot, and that's going to be a difficult hold. Now here for Lucas. They know where he's at. They're throwing out the utility, and there's the smoke. He's got to spray through, and he finds one, but not enough, and they're going to have the time to get to the defuse, swap out these M4s for AKs, even pick up that AWP from Otter, and that was a must-win round for Pittsburgh, and they take it 13-12, favor of Georgia Tech as we head into round 26. The money, once again, still looking fine on the Georgia Tech side. They got everything they need. Little bit of utility lacking. Excuse me, they just bought all the way through. I guess I didn't check out the money before I said that. Pierre, the only one lacking on the Department of Fiery, but he's got an MP7. So they've got a fighting chance in this round. And once again, if they win, they still have to go through another rifle round of Georgia Tech, potentially even 2.
Scotty's actually already made his way up into window, working right now through the apartments. He's able to help clear out several angles. He's also checking up on top of the awning right now. So they're clearing out all the different angles that they can. And again, Magister was taken out earlier in the round, so the way that they're setting themselves up, they're still leaving Otter in the B bomb site by himself, and they're having confidence in their rotate. Scotty's going to get challenged here by Perry in second, and that's not going to be the fight that they can win. And right around the corner is going to be Stan. Stan's going to get traded as well, just back and forth, exchange after exchange, and that's going to force out Hannercat.
Oh man, he is just stuck in between
hey.
a rock and a hard place.
Wow.
But look at that, he found the one little gap. Oh my goodness,
2 HP.
Look at that, Otter actually rotated over, so they're making their way back to B. Very smart heads-up play here from Jay Park. And as soon as they realize he's not getting shot at, they're going to know Otter has rotated over. He's going to get the bomb down, doesn't even have to use a smoke. Oh, well, because they don't have one, that's why, Corey. I was looking at the wrong side, but there goes the bomb, and they used the Molotov onto construction just in the case Otter was there. And now we see Jay Park making his way through. Him and Lucas going to have to make the retake, and I don't think they're going to be expecting them both to be this far off. The kits are in play, and Otter is the last remaining soldier as Lucas.
Oh, well, he's going all out. He just assumed that he was going to be over there towards that side. Bomb is going to go ahead. Oh,
wow, what a setup.
Yep, that's exactly what I was waiting for. That is a standard way to play. And Jay Park says, oh, I heard my trigger. That's enough for me, and spams through the stained glass and picks up. Nice job. Wow, good play there.
Gross. That is a gross setup there. You say that's standard for you, but for me, Corey, that is something special. So 28-14 is Jay Park leading the server once again. No surprises there, as we're seeing Magister using that CZ, getting up close and personal. Trying to see if he can find a pick on Danny here. Danny's been able to take it, and actually Scotty-O coming through the back and fighting too. They weren't watching Boiler.
Right, Scotty's been jumping into the window every single round. They've given it up to him, and which then allows him to be able to get that kind of quick rotate on the other side and sandwich in together. So that allows them to feel very comfortable with what they're working with. Now Hannercat inside of the site. They are going to get challenged first by... that is going to be Stan, but there is a flank that's happening by Otter. Otter is going to go, wait a minute, I'm on, they're chasing me down. He's going to hide over in the corner. I don't know if they know they're here. And he does, checks one. He's looking for a second. He picks up his second one. Could he get three? No, he does not. And now it's going to be down to a 2-on-2. Hannercat, Stan, ZQ are the ones left alive. They do not really have the best weaponry to work with. And that's going to do it for Hannercat. But we're left up to Stan. I am not counting this round out. He has full body armor, one flashbang, an AK in hand, and they, oh no! I don't know if that was enough for them to be able to hear it. Here comes the flashbang over the top. Nobody's going to be blinded by that. They know exactly where he's coming from. They've got a very, very good crossfire. He does not have a kit. This round is basically over, and that's where he's going to go ahead and hightail it out of there. Oh, man, if Hannercat was alive, I think they would have been able to play that a little bit differently. But the score is now at game point, map point, for Georgia Tech, and that is 15-12. As we're narrowing things down, good gameplay. I think it really comes down to is what type of buys that have been happening for Pittsburgh. But they'll see some signs of life here as they have the economy to do so. They will advance, get the right types of head armor that they need. It looks like Stan ZQ also was dropped the AK, and so now they're going to be in a good position to be able to hold down the CT side. So this will be a good final or potential game point round. I'm always not a fan of those rounds where it's like game point and it's like just kind of throwaway weapons. They at least have a fighting chance here.
Once again, we're seeing Scotty. He's actually been kind of the name of this half, taking so much control over these apps, getting through quickly, as you mentioned. Sees no one there, and that's the information to know that at least they know that Pittsburgh is playing more passively on the site. They don't have the bomb. They see two players stacking up on the B site this time, so kind of a standard play of a 3-2 split. One player on truck, Pitt, and Arch looking towards mid. That's utility going out, so now they know for sure one's in Pit, the other one pushing towards Boiler. He's going to get the flash, he's going to move on that, he's going to find one, and he's not going to find two, and so they still know there's one in Pit. They see him out, it's Chris. He's got to hold himself.
Yeah, Hannercat's in a tough spot. There's the maul. You're going to force him out of his main position. But you do have a teammate that rotated inside of the site. That's Magister, and that's a lethal player to look out for. He's picked up two. Almost gets this third one over the top of the box, but Stanzy Q is going to be there, and we're now down to a one-on-one. A huge rotate coming now. Lucas versus Otter. AWP in the hands of this retake here from Otter, and Lucas is going to challenge. He picks up the AK, and right around the corner is going to be Georgia Tech's Lucas, and the 16th round comes in here for Georgia Tech. 16-12 in favor of Georgia Tech over Pittsburgh. What a game, though. I really, really enjoyed that. Thank you, Pittsburgh, for coming out for that map. We do have a second one coming our way out of this best of three.
What was your prediction?
Oh, it was way off. Samsonite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was way off.
Okay, never mind. I for something in my head, it told me 16-12.
No, it was not.
Okay, well, if it was way off, then that means I was one closer than you, unless I wasn't. So we'll completely forget about that. But I think the name of the game here is that there was great control shown by the university, just Georgia Tech. We saw Jay Park taking over, pretty much doing what his name was, and what we've seen so far in the series is going out and killing people. And then we saw Scotty with the great control when they were on CT on Banana. He had great control there. Sure, he was killing his own team, but still had control, and then taking control over Apps when they're on the T side. So those were two of the standout players I saw. And then obviously staying on the side of Pittsburgh, when he had to hold the B side, that was his domain. And the problem was when they got to the A side, that's when things started to get a little shakier.
So that's game number one out of this final best of three here in the lower bracket finals for Group C. We'll find out. Can Georgia Tech close it out on our second map, or will it be Pittsburgh pushing it into a third map? We'll find out after the break. We'll be right back.
If I stay, would you run from me? If I go, would you be happy in the end? So was it all for nothing? Was it all for nothing? Those memories, was it all for nothing? Was it all for nothing? So was it all for nothing? Watch me crush it like a wrecking ball. On fire, so high, to the top is where I'm heading. Gonna be a legend. Gonna be a legend.
Welcome back to the Esports Stadium, Arlington. This Collegiate CSGO tournament is brought to you by U.S. Army. More than 150 careers. Find your What's Your Warrior best fit at GoArmy.com. Man, what a game that we just watched just now. But so far, in these two maps that we've seen between these two teams, Georgia Tech has taken both of them. Now Georgia Tech only needs to do it one more time before they will have the ability to advance. And with that said, Georgia Tech selected Vertigo, and that's where we're at right now. We saw Vertigo for the very first time in this tournament, or actually one of this tournament where we saw, I think it was RMU, and RMU was facing off against Oklahoma State. Yep, thank you very much. So they faced off against Oklahoma State. That was a 16-0 game. Ouch.
Yeah, it sure was. I think this one might be a little bit closer, Corey, but just keep in mind that Pittsburgh did ban Vertigo last series, their first ban, and we saw what Georgia Tech was able to do on Nuke, 16-4, taking that one. So if that's any indication of how uncomfortable they are on this map, this might also be a quick one, but just seeing how they played last map, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to see a pretty stand-up match for them. And really, I think the players to watch out that need to have key performances on their side is Stan. I think Otter has the AWP. He didn't really make much of a splash with it. Usually that's the gun that you hold your angles and you hold your corners and you try to make as much of impact. We really saw him. He would get one frag at the beginning. That'd be the entry, and then he'd get traded off, and then they would have the bomb site.
That's a good call out. I wouldn't necessarily say it's fully Otter's fault. The fact is that he was left by himself. We saw it many, many times where we saw the players stack the A bomb site. Trades happen, right? You should not be expected to get multiple frags in succession, one after the other, whenever you're holding down a bomb site. That's a tough task to ask. You're basically asking someone, I need you to get 2 kills around every single time.
So with that said, are you saying that that's more of a problem with the strat? Because we saw that almost the entirety of the time that they were on CT.
That's going off of confidence. There's 2 parts to that story. Is either A, you're going off of the confidence that your teammate could be able to lock it down and then get out, and that's probably a better approach to it. The other side of the story may be more the fact that they feel really solid on their retake. And so they're going from the A bomb site, retaking the B bomb site, even if they lose Otter. We won't linger too far on those types of notes, though, because, I mean, it's that game is already said and done. It's really about what happens here on Vertigo and whether or not we'll see these teams see Georgia Tech continue the reign that they've gone on, or will Pittsburgh actually adjust here? Something that we're seeing right now, we're waiting for for them to go through their own little knife round to be able to choose which side they're on. Actually, selections already have been made before we start. And so Pittsburgh will be starting off, based off of what I just heard in my ear, is Pittsburgh will be starting off on the counter-terrorist side. And so it's, man, the way that we saw RMU play against Oklahoma State, they started on the T side. And we only saw 1 round. And so we'll see what this one looks up. So here you have it. This is the new and improved Vertigo. No window over there. Actually, a different type of middle. And this bomb site has been completely revamped altogether to make it a really solid way to play. This side has been kind of slightly tapped into. But again, I'm a bigger fan of this map, of this style of Vertigo than I was before. That window was it made gunfights just really weird. And so there we have it. Again, Georgia Tech on the T side, Pittsburgh on the counter-terrorist side. We're waiting for our game to kick off. But as I look at it, we can see you've got Otter, Perry, Magister, as well as Hannercat and Stan ZQ that are right there on the side. Again, as I said before, this job site has suffered 0 injuries. And there's a pizza box that's open, and I'm kind of hungry on that one, too.
I'm a little jealous. Yeah, that means someone at least had the opportunity.
It was so good that they flipped that chair before they left.
Or maybe they were so full that they couldn't stand up. They had to just fall out of it.
Oh, that's it. Then crawl away, like roll away. That could be the case. Let's see what's going on here. See why they're trying, why they paused this game. We'll find out here in a second. Nothing has been impacted. No weapons or anything. They've already got their armor. Nothing has been changed in this. So we'll be waiting. Now the game has started. We can go ahead and hop into the game a little bit earlier. As we're in the freeze time, they've got their pistols. They've got their weapons already in play. So we'll see that Scotty has actually got himself a full utility set. And then the rest of the team have gotten armor. And J Park has decided to not buy anything. And here they go. They're playing pretty aggressive here from Pittsburgh. As now Scottio and the rest of the team are heading over here towards the A bomb site. They will be challenged here by Perry. J Park goes down. Hopefully.
Thinking about Call of Duty, are we over there?
That's a homage to an old day whenever I used to cast Call of Duty.
Now Magister able to find one and leaving it all on to Chris. He's got the bomb, he's got the Glock. He's got to do a lot of work himself. Otter's on 1 health, Magister on 46, and Hannercat fully alive at 100. They don't know where he's at still, and he's got plenty of time to work with, but he's going to run straight into Otter. Take the fight. He's going to take him down. He's going to lose some health
much
in
time.
the process.
He doesn't have to be quick on this. I don't know why he was. He had so much time. He had 60 seconds. He could just continue to create 1-versus-1 battles.
Absolutely could there, and maybe that's just one of those mental things. He's like, well, I don't really feel like playing this. Let's just go ahead and start the real game. But
that can't be it.
I don't think that's
that
the
can't be
case.
it.
Yeah.
I think he made the assumption that they probably thought that he was in another bomb site. Yeah, if he had 30 seconds left in the round, yes. But he had 60. He had a full minute left in that. So, all right, there goes the cone. He didn't want that cone to be there anymore. And Otter with an HE from afar is going to find Scotty.
Danny was trying to get cheeky and poke around the corner, and his teammates just absolutely getting blown up by that HE. I didn't see that either. Now Danny's just trying to see what he can see, and there he goes.
Yeah, I saw that one coming. I like the little boost spot that they have there, but as he got up there on top, but of course that's a very spammable surface and very easy for them to win that gunfight. And now it's left up to Lucas and Chris. And Chris, LMS, he's out. And now Pittsburgh again kicking these matches off here early, but 2-0 in favor of Pittsburgh. Full nade sets coming out here for Perry, Magister, as well as Hannercat. Otter, what are you going to end up going? Okay, all right. Looking on the other side, Georgia Tech, they've saved enough, and now they're going to have a full gun round on their side. I don't like to consider these as actual gun rounds.
Oh, he saw the head there, and similarly that Otter saw him.
Poor cone.
So he's just going to run away, and Jay Park now taking his position. We saw Lighty of RMU playing there and having a huge impact from there. We'll have to see if Jay Park can find the same success. So there goes the Molotov, trying to keep some control. Scotty having to fall back, made some noise. Now they know he's there. That's only one spraying through.
Oh, just caught the lip of something. So go ahead and smoke back over here. Flashbang over the top. Trying to help out Hannercat a little bit, making sure that didn't push up. And Magister on the flank, and Jay Park was letting him linger for a little bit too long. I think Jay Park was actually trailing him, and I guess he didn't tell his teammate fast enough. Lucas with a nice little entry inside of this B bomb site. They've got it locked down, and Danny, he's up on top of that ladder. He had a chance to flank. He still does. Pittsburgh going through this new window here. And over the top, and they're going to trade a little bit there, and Danny picks up both of them. So Georgia Tech, they have the ability to buy AKs, and they do, and they win the round.
Last time we saw from Pittsburgh, it was 3 straight, followed by Georgia Tech getting 3 straight. So this time, they stopped the bleeding early, and they're able to get one on the board. So that is a good feeling for them, and the money is broken on the side of Pittsburgh. Deagles, CZs, FAMAS, and MP7. Well, Magister's the gun being picked up was actually the thing that wrote his demise there. Now it is a 4v4, and once again in the favor of the AKs. He's swapping out, going to get the... Okay.
Smart, yep.
Yep, getting it as far away as possible.
Yeah, you know that the other team is on some type of save. You don't want to allow them to have any type of weapon at all. And there's Scotty-O checking over the top. And Stan, hello with the CZ. He loves that CZ.
He shoots great with it. I mean, if you're shooting like them, I don't think you'd be too scared. And at that close range, it's obviously very dangerous and wasn't prepared for the flank. Or excuse me, wasn't prepared for the run-up. And that's the bomb. And now we're starting to get a little bit uncomfortable. Had Scotty not have found that frag, that could have been much weirder. So now it's on to Stan. We've seen him able to take these before. He's got an AK in hand. He doesn't have a kit.
He has time to get over there, too, because they have to pick up the bomb right now. And so they still have not – they're trying to question where's the bomb actually at. They made sure that he wasn't challenging him. Now they're making some footsteps, and he's going to go ahead and have this bomb site. 1-on-2. He's going to peek over the top. Oh, the angle is what's going to get him. The timing is what's going to get him. No. Now, I honestly think that round actually benefited Pittsburgh for the fact that that bomb was dropped. Or sorry, I apologize. It actually benefited Georgia Tech because the bomb was dropped. It delayed the plant. I think if they had the bomb, they would have planted earlier, and their post-plant positions would have been different than where they were at because they were very irregular positions to be in. And here you have it. Stan and team are going to go ahead and play aggressive, chasing after Lucas. Got 2 of them, and then there you have it. J Park with another 2. Magister saying, hey, guys, I'm over here. This is where you can find me. And Scotty says, I'll pick up that call.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. I think he obviously was pre-firing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But in hindsight, or not in hindsight, but just given what we saw, it just looked like he was definitely like, all right.
No, we definitely knew he was pre-firing angles, but of course it also alerted the other team. So 3-2 for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, not the best of utility either for Pittsburgh. They've got enough smokes to slow this push down, but now we see Chris, the first one out, and Scotty finding the first on Magister. Not having the most luck this round. He's 5-4, doing pretty well for himself, but Otter being taken down. And now it is to follow. Pierre taking a lot of damage from that fire, and we're seeing the rotation, or excuse me, Scotty going way behind enemy lines here, as Pierre is going to see potentially 2 of them running away. They're not checking their back. Oh, they are lucky to get away with no damage escape. And now once again, Scotty on the rotation. Man, this guy, he wants to do it all for his team, finding 4 kills. That's the 4th round on the board for Georgia Tech. And now it's starting to show why this was their map pick.
Yeah, taking this lead already, playing lights out. You had a couple players. I think one of the things for Pittsburgh is that they only really had 2 really strong players on their side, that Magister and Stan ZQ. But on the other side, you've got Scotty, J Park, and Danny who are playing really well.
Let's see if Lucas checks this angle. Stan, we know how good he can be with that CZ. He's going to make the impact, and yes, he will get the gun. Man, I almost feel like he's favored with that gun at this point.
Well, especially in the early part of the rounds. Absolutely.
Fortunately for his team, no one else finding the same success that he is. And, oh, well, I spoke too soon. That's 1, and he's got 3 HP onto Chris. He could find another one, but swinging around trying to see what he can find from behind him. And now Chris is going to be watching the angle. He's going to see him and instantly shaving off the head. That's another one down. Is left to stand with the AK. They know where his position's at. He's rotating on the site, and they are rotating out of the site. As now, once again, Scotty is on the hunt. We saw this last time. He's 9-3 for himself, Corey. Even after that 4K, that means he had 5 to his name, having a pretty solid game for himself, and that's going to close it out. That's number 10 on the board, even shooting bodies. 5-2 for the side of Georgia Tech. Money is now online for Pittsburgh. We'll have to see how they take it. And look at that. That's an AWP right off the bat. No questions asked for Otter. That's absolutely his comfort gun.
Yeah, I'm wondering where he's going to play with that op at. Let's go and take a look. Yeah, he was playing the B-bomb side before, but...
Oh, wow, they've completely arranged the B-bomb site. I guess I haven't seen this update holistically yet.
I've only talked about it twice now.
I haven't seen it, Corey. I haven't seen it. I'm a visual learner, Corey.
You absolutely are, even though you don't know your geometry. All right, 5.
Hey, thanks for having me, Corey. That's how I know you like me, is those kinds of comments. But as we see Stan finding another kill, pretty anchoring down on this B-bomb site. Seems like B across the board is his domain. And now they're picking up the bomb. Magister coming through A. Not expecting him there, and that falls Danny. But Stan being taken down at B, all up to Magister.
Yeah, they know where Magister was previously at. So they can make the assumption that he was going to rotate through spawn, which he's not because they're allowing him to have enough time because the bomb is yet to be planted. And so Chris, of course, is going to linger around in that area. This is smart gameplay. And they still haven't. Goodness, that took so long for them to get that bomb planted, which allowed Magister to be able to find a new angle, to find a new position. And they're going to hear Scotty O, and he will win that gunfight. Now, Chris, who was lurking around trying to be able to find this, now Magister's not going to know that. And here we go. He's going to have a couple mollies going over the top. There's going to be an opening angle. And Magister wins this, wins the gunfight, but does he have the time? It's going to be super close.
Really? It is?
And he's got it. I was yelling so loud that I didn't even hear the bomb ticking well enough.
Well, good thing we have the visual aid,
I don't
Corey.
trust the stuff that I code. You crazy?
Okay.
That was actually a particular thing that I had to code, and I didn't trust it. Next time I will.
I remember you even telling me before we started this broadcast on Monday, said, John, if it looks like it's going to be close, don't trust it, listen to the game. And that point, I think your coding's better than you think it is, Corey. But
I just couldn't hear it. I just couldn't hear it.
Because that was not close at all. So it's 5-3. And now we see Stan on to that new window. Finding success is actually Magister finding the 2, but the support from Stan nonetheless. Now Chris trying to see what he can find on the A site. They still do not have the bomb. That is down on the T side, finding 1, and that's going to be immediate followed by Smoke. And he's going to push through it. Actually, he's not. Psych, he runs away.
I'd love to see a spray, but that's not going to happen. Kind of trying to wall through that box.
All right, tried to flash himself out there. Maybe getting a little bit too eager. Lucas starting to come on live, and now Danny's got an AWP of his own. I actually didn't even notice that until now. And on the T side, ooh, I'm not sure why you would try to take that fight. You've got the numbers. You know where he's at. You can just hold the angle, and he pushes right onto the bullet. And you see the blood spat on the wall. That's the remains of him. And now Chris is able to hold down the angle. The AWP is starting to come into the picture now. Otter has one of his own, and he's pretty far back onto the side. He's in a good position. I don't think Danny's going to be ready for this, but we'll have to see if Otter misses the shot. That could be the opening he needs. He's not going to take it. He's going to throw down the smoke, and the timing works out into his favor. Got close there, but now he's on the site. The bomb's going down. In the meanwhile, Lucas being caught out, and now we see the rotation coming through.
Don't peek it. Don't peek it. That's the smart call there. He's going to fall back. He knows that the bomb is planted in his favor. There's no reason to challenge it. Good job on getting that smoke across. He's going to see him over the top. Good shot there from Danny. And there comes the other 2, and they're going to start to line up for him. And actually, they lined up so much that Hennercat actually took out Stan. And that's always those challenging moments when you're trying to come from the exact same angle. And Georgia Tech, 6. Pittsburgh right now at 3 here on Vertigo. This is the second map of this best of 3. If Georgia Tech wins this map, they will be joining the other teams that are currently sitting in the 16-team double elimination playoff bracket.
Small little detail to note here, Corey, is that at the beginning of this round, it seemed like half the team on the Pittsburgh side weren't committed to the buy. Some walking out of spawn with just pistols, while we see the Mag 7 coming through for Pierre. And it seems like specifically Hennercat was not trusting into the buy this round. He had $2,000, and then he went back to buy his weapons. So it seems like Pittsburgh's starting to get a little bit shaken up here.
Ooh,
but here we go.
Flank.
Magister on a huge flank.
Let's
see if he has got the trigger discipline. He sees 1, he sees 2. He's not able to take out more than that just yet, but there is J Park going down, and that is the opening that they need. They also know their bomb is there.
Yep.
Getting the gun out of his hands, he's only got 1 HP. He says, give me your pistol. I want it. And he finds the deagle.
Yeah, he might stub his toe and lose to a cone or something along those lines.
How funny would that be?
If it was possible, like kind of like Half-Life.
You like do a grenade and it does so much projectile damage or momentum.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Also, it'd be a little.
I was about to say that
random.
sounds awesome, but that sounds also incredibly frustrating.
It sounds like a video game.
Well, that's what we're playing.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's not necessarily true. A cone definitely could have some momentum. And oh, my goodness. Scotty had all the momentum he needed for that shot to work. Had the angle, but just gets absolutely deleted. And now it's all on to Lucas. He's looking at the right angle to find Magister with the AWP, but he hears some footsteps. He's going to find 1. Not able to find the shot, however, and that's going to be 4th on the board for Pittsburgh. Is there time? Hey, look at that. You're coding just like you said, Corey. Perfect. Round number 11. Georgia Tech money still looking great on their side. The AWP once again coming out as we're going to jump back with Magister on that last flank. He sees 1, he sees 2, he gets 2, taking down the 1 HP, and that is the job done for that round. Once again, the AWP sitting on Otter. We haven't seen a lot of impact on that, but it is doing enough. Keeping it 6-4 is still a close scoreline.
So right now, just inside of the site, they're about to start pushing it. They drop the bomb in the same location as they have time and time again. And look, they've got 4 players over here towards A. Of course, you got Magister, who's going to be allowed to quickly rotate from site to site, but a little bit of ADing action going on, and Stan almost lost, but he does win against Lucas.
Bench or mile. we will take those, as we saw Magister last round winning with 1 HP and able to close it out. So we'll see if that 1 kill will make the difference. And we saw Stan in that position before on the B bomb site. Had success with the CZ, and now we're starting to see a slow rotation, or excuse me, they're actually just staying on the A side. And now let's see what the setup is. They've got smokes. There's one coming through onto Danny. It looks like it's going to be on site. And there goes the flash, and another flash to follow from J Park. Here comes the swings. It looks like Chris is going to be the first one to peek behind Scotty. Scotty's just going to run on site. He's going to see one on site. He's going to take him down. That was their opportunity. Danny able to find another with the AWP in the backside. J Park getting himself set up for another position. Magister switching out guns, trying to have a better chance. And now Stan's going for the flank. Note they do not have kits. Oh, excuse me. They do have kits, only with Magister being the only one without it. Otter take it down, and there is the last one in Stan. The flank maybe being too obvious there, and so that three players surviving on the side of Georgia Tech, as that is 7-4.
Yeah, so Georgia Tech playing this very, very well. They found out that the A execute has been playing for them pretty decently. Kind of curious, where does that smoke go? Right there. Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm not sure what's going on that site, but it looks like we
right
found
there.
2 with the CZs. Seems like that is the damage dealer so far. Chris is getting a little bit confused here. That's getting awkward. He's able to find a takedown, and is Danny left with the AWP all by himself in a zoo. You get this out of here. I don't want to accidentally click that. And oh my lord, what was okay, was that an eco round? It happened so fast I wasn't even take note of it, but I just saw pistol kill after pistol kill after pistol kill. Considering that they've got AKs and 180 AWP, I'm led to believe that that was an eco round that turned into.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can agree with that statement. I mean, the fact is, yeah, I would agree. They did, yeah. Solid round coming in. At the control, I mean, there's just a lot of misfire that happened from Georgia Tech in that round.
J Park wanted to throw the Molotov, said psych, and then decided to throw it again. But they've got 2 smokes blocking them off from getting any further on the site without getting a little risky. But look at the fire damage! Oh my lord, Pierre, what are you doing?
He was trapped.
Oh, he was put in a rock and a hard place, and he just decided to stay there.
Oh, sometimes you can't even get out. Sometimes you can't even get out of a molly that's like that. If you're in a tough spot like that, he was just right there. There's no way for him to get out.
Okay, so now they have to take the site with only 3. Now Magister going on the B bomb site, seeing nothing there, and perhaps that's going to call for them to stack onto A. There's still a lot of time this round, but here comes the utility coming out. The Molotov finds 1, is Handercat, but not able to find 2. Luke is able to find 2 on their side, and now that's going to get onto the site, but they didn't check the corner, and there's Stan meeting the bomb. He doesn't expect another to poke out. Otter has his P250 out, not able to find it, and that's going to be the round. Man, this is starting to get really scrappy here, Corey.
Yeah, what we saw up in the kill feed was actually Magister was on a flank. He was on a hard flank, but so was Lucas was watching for all flanks. And so he found himself a choke point and was able to take out Magister with a MAC-10. And he could have been an impact player. As we take another look and see where this smoke comes back. Ooh, that actually gave me vertigo. I think that's the last time I would have seen that.
Be careful what you wish for, Corey.
Man, that's one of those things as I get older. I'm not afraid of heights, but I do get some vertigo from time to time.
I don't blame you. Being 7 feet 6 inches tall, when I look down sometimes I do get a little bit of vertigo myself. But J Park seeing 1 on the site, that's just a FAMAS, so not too afraid of the challenge. However, clicking hedge will do a lot of damage, so he's not willing to take the fight just yet, waiting for his team, and there he is, fighting another fight and winning that on top of Magister, leading the team with 15 kills as he's out of the server now. Otter still alive for his team, and oh, that is a nice find there. I was just about to say he's having a slow game. He's got a big task in front of himself, but he's able to take 2. And now Pierce finding himself in a very forward position, making a lot of noise. Probably could have just kept the position he did, but nice. Finding Lucas with the utility out, and they're evening up the odds. Otter finding another one. That's 3. He's come online this round. He's feeling good. He's got 5 kills to himself. Chris has got it all to do. Has the bomb. He knows where Otter's at. He doesn't have to take the shot yet. He sure did. Otter was looking right at him. and that leaves him with Pierre and Stan. They're going to double peek him. He finds one, he even found the rifle. That was a good chance for him, but Pierre able to close it out. Didn't take any damage, so that is 8-6 as we head into the last round of the half. We're going to see guns coming on the side of Georgia Tech, but perhaps not a lot of utility versus the side of Pittsburgh. They're going to have all the utility that they could ask for, and something we're not seeing is Otter with the AWP making as big an impact as we were looking for, but once again, this is Vertigo. It's a hard map to have that kind of impact, so maybe why he's having a slow game, but going into the half, getting that 3K has to feel a little bit good for him. As we're seeing a Nova actually coming out for Hannercat. He's playing close quarters, and Pierre able to find one.
Ooh,
and there it is. There's the kill.
Hottie.
There's $900 and be able to put that in investments and savings for perhaps another time.
Nope, that's no. He won't be able to save anything because it's the final round.
I said another time. I meant like a future time.
It's not a 401k or an IRA that he's using.
Hey, you don't know that.
I
You
do.
have no idea. Oh. Well, it seems like that shotgun was only successful for 1 kill. It's left on to Stan the man. We saw how much he could do previously. Oh, don't you do it to him, Scotty. He saw it, and now he sees you. The bomb's down, and Stan not able to close it out. Danny's able to get away, but the bomb didn't get down, and Stan the man able to close it out with the 3K. Heading into the next half, we're at 8-7, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, so take a look at that scoreboard for a second as it's going to go away here in a moment. The reality is what ended up happening is Pittsburgh really started to bring some rounds together. And that's what I want to take note of is this game should have been a lot worse than where it's at right now. And Pittsburgh is playing really well. They started winning a lot more gunfights. So it's going to be challenging. We're now in the second half. We hopped right into it. There's no delay at all. They're going to start playing extremely aggressive, heading out on this pistol round. Magister trading. And now they're continuing to fight this one, and Otter gets himself one. They're all there. This good round is going to happen really fast. They do make their way in, and now it's left up to Chris, and Chris is under some gunfire as well. And wow, just like that, go ahead and click your stopwatch. That round went by way too fast, and we're already tied up at 8.
I couldn't even start the timer on my stopwatch. Didn't even think about it. And Otter finding himself another 3K. He's starting to pat those stats. He was 2-14 just a few rounds ago, or I think it was 2-13. Regardless, he's starting to heat up a little bit. That might spell disaster for Georgia Tech. Otter finding Scotty a little bit too far forward, but this is the save round. This is the eco. So any guns out of the hands will feel good, but that's a Max 7 finding the kill. That's an extra $600 in their pockets. They're happy to get that. That's on to Otter. Now, oh, okay, nice shot there for Magister. Had 2 people looking at him, able to come away with the headshot.
Bad flash.
Well, sometimes you got to flash your team. If you don't like the call, and that's maybe what they're doing. And oh, Jay Park finding an angle. That's getting a little dicey now as Otters doesn't have that much health to work with. He finds a Galil. Jay Park can start doing some damage.
What are you
Why
doing?
are you jumping up in that situation? But it might not matter, and it doesn't. Stan able to close it out. He finds a 3K of his own. He's sitting on 18. He's leading the scoreboards on the server. As we see on the flip side, Chris, the second closest with Magister at 16. 9-8 Pittsburgh. They're coming alive here on T side.
Our previous game was 16-12, and Pittsburgh selected that one. They're the ones that selected Inferno. And then now you've got Georgia Tech, who's picked Vertigo. And I know we're just now getting into the second half, but man, some really strong. I mean, they're controlling a lot of momentum right now. As Otter picks up one as well. And we were on board with Jay Park as we saw him inside of mid. He's got Chris right there with him to give him some support.
And if it wasn't for the team kill there, they'd still have their full team, but they will still take a 4v2, but nice push out there from Jay Park. Able to find Otter going onto the side, and Chris had the advantage, had the health, but not able to find the shot, and that's all that matters at the end. Pittsburgh finding a 10th.
All right. We may have found a type of map that Pittsburgh actually does like.
And once again, as a reminder, Corey, this was Georgia's pick.
Yeah, if the reason why they probably did so is because this could be a later. I mean, there's so many different tactics when you start to look at bracket play. This could have been a tactic later on. I mean, they may have banned Vertigo in the very beginning in the best of one at the top of the day, and knowing that they're actually good at Vertigo.
The mind games. They're
And
playing
I,
chess, huh?
and I love it. I'd love to know that that was the case, but it might not be. But it'd still be cool to know because they are playing a really, really good Vertigo right now.
And to give Georgia Tech the benefit of the doubt, they did the same thing with Inferno.
Yep.
With Pittsburgh. So if that's how it goes down, that's the way the cookie crumbles, so to speak. But Magister's holding the angle. He's going to see one, and that's Jay Park going down. No chance. He's out of the round. So now they're going to check their angles, and that's another one. That is going to be the round closing out here shortly. Not able to find the kill is Scotty, and it's Chris with a 5-7 and not even any armor. So those bullets are going to fly through him.
All right. Let's kind of dissect a little bit of what we've seen so far because going into this next round, we should see a full buy, see our very first gun round coming out.
Well, first off the bat, I think the first thing I've noticed is that we're seeing way more B hits here on the side of Pittsburgh already. They're showing that they're comfortable on both sides.
Well, they're getting mid control, which has always been crucial in Vertigos. If you have mid control, then you can usually be able to win a lot of rounds. And so that's what they're doing. They're taking over mid and then immediately forcing themselves into the B bomb site, whether it's through the new window or whether that's up through that main staircase. They're playing smart. Good call by Georgia Tech. They need to talk about it. They can dissect a little bit more about what is going on. Actually, Chris looks like he actually left the game. I wonder if there's furthermore. We may end up having a physical pause because he left the game. See if he gets back into the game fast enough. Might require us an actual pause. Yep, there it is.
Let's hope this is not another case of the Windows update. So we saw that earlier in the VCU match. That's what put us a little bit behind, but we are catching up. So to speak to the point of the match, we are at 11-8. Pittsburgh having a very impressive T side for themselves. They've got all the utility in the world they could ask for. They've got no HEs, but they have done that intentionally. I just realized your graphic here, Corey, says they've got 5 flashbangs, and they in reality have 10.
Let's count those out, yeah? Yep, they do have 10. We'll work on that later on. We'll fix that. Something wrong on this side.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's correct on the flip side, and now it seems like he's back into the server as Chris, so we are on your way with the match. 11-8, Pittsburgh.
That must have been a fault of the code before I got it.
Yes.
I didn't make any changes to that, so that's good to know.
I'm glad that we have at least seen it now. We didn't make it all the way through the whole bracket, so
I'm being honest. Older style of casting. I don't even pay attention to that. I haven't even been looking at those nades up top. I've been looking at the actual.
Oh, I haven't either. I just looked at it because it's just. Honestly, I mean, shoot, we could have seen that so many times over, and that's just the fact we're seeing it now. It's probably because of the break. But holy cow, the WAWP setup.
Wow, that was a
lights
great
out.
timeout.
Wow. Yeah, maybe an unintentional leave, but maybe that's what they wanted to do. They had to just show that they wanted to take a timeout. And oh my gosh, a clean sweep. Look at that. Look how much utility they still have. They have all of their full armor. They didn't even take damage. Now they're able to get kits. They're able to upgrade their guns to AKs. Now if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm wondering, do I disconnect from the server? Do I try to get my advantage running for me? But holy cow, what a jump that was. A clean 5 sweep on the side of Georgia Tech. Money still in an okay position for Pittsburgh. However, Otter taking some damage right off the bat, and so is Jay Park. He's going to fall back. He's got the AWP, and he's holding it down on the A site. They're actually doing a dual setup between him and Danny. 3 players on that site, with Danny being the rotation. Now we see a slow approach coming through, not trying to get too aggressive, and now we're seeing an A hit, the Molotov going down. That's not going to push anyone too far out of place. Everyone's still holding positions. There's the flashbang, and they're going to go through with that, actually blinding himself and slowing them down. So maybe this gives time for rotation, but no one is going too fast. Reloading now. Heard it, and now he's not able to find the spray, but that's the bomb going down. So there's the first kill, Danny finding out Magister. The bomb, once again, has been put down. Lucas trying to find his way through mid, getting it back with his team. Pierre's holding down through A ramp. Stan holding also from A ramp. They've got to make a move here pretty soon. They still have time. They still have kits. He misses the shots. It doesn't matter in the end. Otter was on the leave, and the one player towards Stan bags is Stan. The defuse is coming through, but they've lined up for them, and oh my lord, you blink and you miss it. Stan and Otter taking down all 5, and that was a messy retake there. I'm not sure what their strategy was, but it just seemed like they got a little bit I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is. They just were disorganized.
They bottlenecked?
Yes, thank you. That is exactly what I was looking for there. They all went into the same place at the same time. Their communication seems like it went off the wire a little bit too hard there, and that's going to spell out a 12th round. But fear not for Georgia Tech. They have the money to at least get themselves back into this round.
Yeah, what ended up happening is the fact that they smoked over there towards closer to the CC spawn, which allowed them to get an easy plant. At that point, there is only one way to go. But here we have, they're already heading here towards the B-bomb site now. Magister starting things off. That timeout may have impacted at least one round, but they're not going to let it impact them too much further. Here comes, though, on the quick retake, and look at this. They do not get the bomb planted. And now they're going to have to be able to fall back. The bomb is dropped, and there goes. Now it's left up to Perry. Perry down to a 1-on-2 as he's picked up a second kill. And just on the other side, oh, they're going to be both right there. That always can shape either way when they're that close to one another. 12-10 in favor of Pittsburgh.
Speaking of vertigo there, Corey. Seeing double now. I didn't realize there were 2 there, and it actually made me a little cross-eyed when I saw that. But like you mentioned, that could have gotten a little messy. But Georgia Tech able to tame the beast here, and now that exactly $2,000 mark for 4 players, and Otter being the lone on 1550. He's got a Tech 9 to speak for himself.
What are you doing here, Jay Park?
We haven't seen a lot of them. He's been pretty quiet this match, despite having 16 kills. He hasn't gone in those super forward flanks. He hasn't gone for those super aggressive plays. Here he's trying to. Not giving them anything to work with is Pittsburgh. And smartly enough, just waiting out the time, waiting at the utility, since they don't have any of it other than a smoke and a flash grenade for themselves. And the best gun they have to speak for is a Galil.
Yeah, Georgia Tech making that call out, that timeout. Change the tempo of the game, and then immediately, remember, right after that timeout, they just dominated.
OJ Park's not going to expect more players than that. Now that means the rifle's gone down, but they are a little timid to push. They might hear the rotations, and they're not trying to shake too early. So I actually like what they're doing here. They're slowing it down. They're keeping themselves composed, and that's really one of the most important things you can do is staying composed, and that's what they're doing here. I think I just repeated that twice, so I'm going to move on to a new topic. So we see Otters moving on to the B site as being held down by Scotty. Lucas, I can't read. Lucas is holding down the site. He's going to see 1, and Otter, he's going to rotate back. He sees 1, he sees 2. Can he find anything? That's the question. His team's going to rotate in. He's getting flashed, and he doesn't find any. Scotty's going down to the background. Otter's able to find, Lucas, he has 1 bullet to work with.
Oh, through! That's a still beam, but it's still a deagle. 50 cal coming right through. But now Danny down to a 1-on-2, and there you have it. That would still, I don't know about that material type. but yeah, seeing a 50 cal deagle just popping through that beam there. Man.
Yeah, that was dirty.
13-10.
Stan leading the scoreboards with 23 and Magister on 21. Scotty having a pretty good game for himself, but overall seems like both teams stepping up where they need to be. Now Lucas going for a fast hit, not able to take him out. That's 22 for Magister, and now Jay Park has got a CZ, and he wants to test his odds. And no.
Magister's just having a fun time there on that ladder.
Behind door number 1 was another kill, and Danny not able to find the cross, so they know where he's at. He's on 31 life, and wow, that is a quick kill there for Hanner Cats. Chris has a 5-7. We've seen him in this situation before. He was able to take 1, but he was not able to get more than that. This round is all but lost at this point. I think at this point, this is a good time to at least try to talk strategy for the next round. Use this as almost like a pseudo timeout.
Well, they have timeouts that they can leverage. They have.
Oh man! Now they're gonna have guns to utilize.
Say thank you and then walk away. All right. Okay. Sure. Why not? Yep. All that clutter out of there. Yep. OCD a little bit. All right. Yep. And I'll keep.
Oh no! There's there's one more. got it on out of the way. And there's a timeout. So as we were talking about, Corey, they wanted to take the slower end of that round, and they also wanted to call the timeout. So now it's 14-10. The money on the side of Georgia Tech is going to be enough to give them some guns and some utility. They've got to make a stand here. If they lose this round, they have to play for overtime, in which case their money will be shot, and it's going to be very hard to take that back. On the flip side, Pittsburgh, they're going to have at least 3 gun rounds ahead of them. We saw this pretty much on the exact flip side on Inferno, Pittsburgh being the ones at this disadvantaged situation. The timeout has concluded, and now we go into round number 25.
All right, Pittsburgh, they've had a lead for a little bit. Now let's see if the Georgia Tech pep talk is enough. Magister.
It is not for Jay Park on his side. Danny able to find a pick, but Magister is starting to step up for his team. He's starting to claim it. If I remember correctly, no, it was Otter who was thinking about it. He had 2 kills to start off this half. Finds himself to be the first one to go, and Magister ties it up by getting Jay Park. And so now we see a 4v4 setup. Not playing it too fast. Waiting for the flanks or waiting for something slow, and I think that's the right move here, not needing to get ahead of yourself. And now we see Stan throwing out some flashbangs, trying to bait something out from either side, as Chris calling the rotations. And now we see here Lucas rotating over to that A bomb site. Scotty able to find 1 on to Stan. That's a good find. He's going to throw the Molotov, keep himself covered. Now we see 2 onto the A ramp. Chris is going to call that out. He's got to get out of the fire. He's burned alive. Those toes are getting hot. Oh, my Lord, finds him through the smoke, but Lucas and Chris follow them up as it's all down to Handercat. Not able to find it. There goes the bomb, not even getting it planted. That is a good hold, and the timeout seems like what they needed. Last time they called a timeout, they got another round. Corey, I wouldn't even be against them calling a timeout here just to recollect themselves.
I mean, sure. You can go with that. I'm questioning a Handercat on jumping up on top of the bomb box like that in a 3v1. But it wouldn't have made too much of a difference. Let's see, we've got Jay Park. Catching the very end of the ladder. I wish I could do that in real life. God, that hurt.
You can. I wouldn't advise it. Now, Jay Park, he's going to find 1. He's going to find 2. That is a beautiful flank, and that is going to help them out immensely. Doesn't grab the gun. He just wants to get out of there with his life, and he will, unscathed. Jay Park, a nice move, and he even gets a little bit more of information. Sees the player there. Obviously, they shot at him, but he gets to see them now. He says, waves at him goodbye, and leaves.
Man, just a thief.
And those are the plays we're talking about. He's been making those all series, and now we're seeing smoke and a flashbang to follow up. And Handercat able to find 1 onto Chris. Scotty gets mixed up between the 2 of them. Handercat finds a second. Now we're on to a 3v3. Now they're taking A from the back, but they didn't check for Danny.
Where'd you get? Danny got that through. I believe he may have gotten that through the smoke. Now down to Otter, Handercat, and Lucas and Danny. Danny's on fire. Danny, you're hot. You're burning. But he does stay alive long enough to be able to pick up the kill. So now Otter, nice headshot, one-on-one, 33 seconds left here in the round. Danny's going to be wrapping around. There's going to play a game of Ring Around the Rosie for just a moment. Ashes, and he decides to go towards B. And that's—
I don't remember the song going that way.
That's not how this game goes. And so it's 15 seconds. He's going to realize that the bomb is not going to be over here towards the A side. Danny's going to go ahead and start to rotate as well. You'll see him, as soon as he probably heard that. Bomb has been planted. He's going to pull out. Oh, let's see how fast he gets there. Checking the angles. Going to have to check out the site. He's going to be looking for a quick scope. They now know exactly where each other are at this point in time. The smoke that's what's going to do it. And Otter goes down. And that will be a 3K coming in. He picks up the hat trick in the defuse with that AWP, 14-12. And let's take another look here. This is Jay Park on the flank, and there you have it. That's how that kind of shaped out in the beginning of the round, and that's what helped out Georgia Tech to get to the position that they're in right now. 2 rounds separate these 2 teams, but 1 full map is what separates them in the overall scheme of things.
Oh, Lucas able to find multiple there. He's going to call it out, and the Molotov's going to slow them down, but they're going to smoke it, and they're going to actually fall down and take some damage before they can even get there. Oh, that is a missed grenade for them. I think that's a smoke that they actually missed, so they smoked themselves off. They've now got to rethink this
Heavy
B
rotate.
hit, but that was a heavy rotate, and now they're taking a slower approach to A. Actually, they've got plenty of time. They can really do whatever they want.
They absolutely
a lot of
can.
utility
Yeah.
coming out for Jay Park. I think a little bit of overcommitment even.
It may be the right call because he wants to be able to slow them down in case they start to be able to pressure them. But now the fight's going to happen over inside of mid. These are all Tech 9, so this is a good call out. They've baited him out, but here we go. It's a shooting gallery here for Lucas, and he only gets one? Oh, no. As Jay Park says, well, I wish I was there, as now he's down to 2-on-1, Hannercat and Stan ZQ. Stan does have an M4. And checking his angles is going to be Jay Park. Drops down. Now they know exactly where he's at. He's going to continue to wrap around this bomb site. He's going to try to work all the angles that he can. He tried to throw a nade behind that pillar, assuming that somebody's going to be there. No one is. And still working angle by angle. Time by time, he's going to spot one. There's going to be the miss, but he's going to get shot in the back here, and he doesn't. He doesn't come out in time. The bomb is still ticking away. He does have a defuse kit, but he will not get the round as Stan does win it, and that's going to put us at game point. That is map point for Pittsburgh, 15-12 here against Georgia Tech.
And the money not looking great. They're going to be able to buy at least armor, but that's not really what wins you rounds. What wins you rounds is guns and utility, in which they lack greatly. Lucas stacking up, having the full inventory and a deagle, while Jay Park and Danny with the rifles. Scotty finding himself on a UMP, and on the flip side, Pittsburgh on the AKs and 1 M4 on the stand. That's an opening from Otter onto Lucas, finding him pushing forward, but now Stan falling down to Chris. Nice pick there. As you can see, the blood splatted on the walls. Deagle's able to do some damage. Actually, that might have been his own. That might have been his own, as it sees that we see the rifle being picked up there. Now Magister trying to make some approach towards mid. Danny standing outside of the smoke, trying to get any information that he can. No one moving on the side of Georgia Tech. They realize what's on the line here. They don't want to overstep their boundaries, waiting for Pittsburgh to make a move. And now Chris has got a good angle. He knows one's coming, and the crouch comes through. He's still able to find it, but the trade's inbound. Hannercat finding one, and now they're going fast onto the site. The utility's coming out. Scotty's got a nice gun for the situation. They don't know he's in the smoke. Magister able to find Danny, and that's a rifle down. It's now a 2v2 setup. Now Jay Park actually making that into a 2v2. Seeing one and seeing two. The bomb is not going to go down. That got close. Jay Park found himself in a 1v1, but able to flank just in time and just the right time. There's an echo in here because I keep repeating the same statement, but we're at 15-13, and the money still not looking great for Georgia Tech. If they did it once, but they can do it twice, that's the mentality they've got to go on with it as we go into a pause.
Yeah, I might have to have some discussions with them because the pause is definitely different than a timeout and not seeing anything that states why we're currently in a pause. See if I can check out and see if there's anything in the game feed. Waiting to see why this game is paused. Of course, we do not have our game chat up, so we don't see those things.
And as we sit here and wait through this pause, looking at the scoreboards, of course, we see 25 for both Stan and Magister. 23, 22, 20, and 22 on the side of Georgia Tech. So an overall good team performance there on both sides, of course, as it's 15-13. These guys are taking it down to the wire. Now it seems like the match is resuming. As we head into round number 29, we see on the flip side, I was actually talking about the money on Georgia Tech not being great, but if we look on the side of Pittsburgh, they've got 2 AKs, 2 Tech 9s, and a P250. Only head armor onto Otter and Stan, which is coincidentally also the rifles. So just trying to stack all of the eggs into one basket where they can. And if they lose this round, their money's not going to be looking too stellar either. So this might be the light at the end of the tunnel that Georgia Tech's looking for. Jay Park finding himself in a pretty forward position. Actually, not that forward position on mid. Just trying to hold out, see what he can find. And it looks like he might be finding one. The utility coming through. Oh! just have he known. I'm sure he hears him now. He's going to see one actually bouncing off the head, made it awkward for him, and Jay Park finding his head being cut off, and Otter able to find the other one. On the flip side, we're now in a 3v3, 3v2. Hannercat able to stack it up, and now it's all down to Scotty with the FAMAS.
It's going to be a tough one for him. He knows that this is basically could be all she wrote, but they do have another map that they can leverage in this best of 3. He's making so much noise. They know exactly where he's at.
Well, he doesn't have a kit, so he has to move fast, and he understands that. FAMAS not necessarily the gun you want for these situations, but the health on the flip side is not looking great, so he has the opportunity to do this. He's just got to make it extremely quick.
What do you think? Think he tries to stick it in the smoke?
No way. That's one. He can do it if he finds another. No way. There's absolutely no way he finds this. Yeah. Okay, I was about to say, there was 2 people. They had 2 AKs. They could spam everywhere in the smoke. At worst case, they pull out the pistols. And that's going to wrap that one up 16-13.
Yep.
Just as his rotation took a while, it took a little bit of rotation for me to get out of my chair there, Corey.
It's been a day. It's been a long day. A lot of Counter-Strike. Oh, man. So 16-13. They're in favor of Pittsburgh. And so now we are tied up in this best of 3 series. Mirage is our next match, our next map. And this one, this is going to be another fun map. These will be really, really, really close games. It's been really a good series throughout. And so, again, this is all about trying to find out who is going to be our second seed team that's coming out of this bracket, or out of this group, and making it into our 16-team double elimination playoff bracket.
Absolutely. Mirage, that's going to be one of those fundamental maps that we spoke about. Both of them having very good performances on Inferno, which is, once again, that closer to a fundamental map we talked about. So I'll be very curious to see how the utility is utilized on Mirage. And so, Corey, do we have any predictions going into this one? Because I feel like this is right down the middle even.
No, I think for me it's just going to be about watching this game. I don't want to make any predictions going into it. I think it's going to be a good game to watch. Both teams are playing extremely well. They fought it from time to time again. I mean, we're seeing both of those games were hyper close. All right, so stay with us. We've got map number 3, the final map of the day here for Group C. We'll find out who is going to take it and then get into the playoffs that will be starting off on May 5th. So stay with us. We'll be back in a moment with more Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Look, you played yourself, congratulations, but I made myself because I mastered the basics. Now I'm spitting outrageous, ripping out pages. Physicality is up on the mic and I'm catching flagrants. Never been flopping, gotta get it billboard popping. Know how we rocking, laughing cause you can't stop this now. Hey, take a seat cause we gon' be here for a while and everything's gon' be Gucci cause visionaries we.
Hello. Welcome back to the U.S. Army Presents Reload Collegiate CSGO Invitational. As we're rushing back to get back into this game. Lots of Counter-Strike all the way through. Very little breaks in between.
Yep, we should have pulled our knives out, Corey. We would have run a little bit faster. You got caught with a burger in hand, so that one slows you down for sure. I had a water in hand, so it was almost like a Molotov. I should have run faster than I thought I would have, but we here in map number 3. We are here in map number 3, Mirage. This can go really either way, and as I think you said it best, I don't think we have a reason to even make predictions. This has been such a good series. It's been down to the wire. I have really no inclination in which side I think this is going to go, and this is really just going to be all about the flow of this match, I think. Momentum hasn't really been too prevalent either. We saw on the side of Georgia Tech last time, the first round went to Pittsburgh on Vertigo, and then after that they took a whole bunch of rounds Georgia Tech. And then it just started to even out from there, and then Pittsburgh obviously walking away with that one as we saw 16-13. So both these teams able to control the state of the game and also able to control the flow of how they would like to play it. Right now it looks like we're trying to get the last remaining player into this server before we get going. But Corey, I think some things I want to call out here is we saw that both AWP players in Otter and Danny had a little bit of a slower match for themselves on Vertigo. Obviously, that's not a map in which they can just hold angles long viewpoints and so forth. But I think that for a map like Mirage, I think we're going to have to keep an eye on both of those players and see which ones can make the most splash for themselves. As we saw, that Stan's been consistent all the way through, and we've seen Jay Parks consistent all the way through for their team. I'm very curious to see how much the op comes alive in this map, as we did not see it very much in the last map.
Yeah, so currently we're just waiting for our 10th player to join into the server. Once we get that underway, we'll then be able to kick off this third and final map of the day. It's been, man, watching so much of this Counter-Strike throughout the day. We've learned a lot about these players and how they play. We've already seen one team go through. That was VCU. So we'll see if which team will join them. I'm really going to be looking out for. We are actually going to see the knife round as well, because the knife round is what decides who starts on which side. So we'll actually check that out, as it looks like that's what we're starting with right here. And so we'll hop into the game now and see how this knife round plays out. I haven't seen a knife round in a while here.
I haven't either. Well, I've been watching them just to make sure that we aren't getting ahead of ourselves, thinking it's the match. But, Corey, as we're watching this knife round, what's your favorite knife in this game?
I mean, there's several of them. There's a few that I don't like. I don't remember all their names. There's so many. Like, when we first started, there was, like, only, like, a few. And now there's, like, 50.
Oh, I mean, I don't remember the names either. I just know that my favorite, without a doubt, is the butterfly.
Butterfly, because you talked about it.
Hey, I just had to make it known, Corey. I just let you know I have some pin tricks up my sleeves. I know that Tryhard, our observer for this event, he has the little pencil-looking one where it like snaps open and it looks a little cute and it's like a candle. Just had to say he's got a cute little knife for himself. I'm sure he's rolling his eyes right now and he's never going to use that one again because he's always going to see it makes that little sound as soon as you flip it open. But as we get into the pistol match, we see Georgia Tech on the side of CT. They've got one kid on Danny, and we see just Armor on the side of Pittsburgh.
Interesting tactics. I mean, they're pushing up through the connector area and causing, they might try to be able to rotate back around, and there you go. Perry actually was able to get around it, but now the execute's happening inside of the B bomb site. Wow. J Park says no. This area is closed down, and even furthermore, oh, no, he won't.
It's back open for business as he's taking it through apartments. He's got 75 health, so he's still pretty healthy, Corey. If he finds one hit on the Scotty in the dome, that's going to close it out, and there it is. We're now in a 1v1 position. Otter, he's at 3 already, but Lucas has the kit. He's got full health, and he's getting in close quarters. So
smart play by Lucas right here to watch this angle, this tight angle, and then there it goes. There it is. As Georgia Tech picking up that round. Really interesting pistol strat. I like it as a interesting tactic where they pushed up connector. That's enough. Sometimes you just need to get somebody off their angle. Now J Park, of course, picked up 2, so he wasn't too far off of his angle, and so they pick up the round 1-0. Again, this is the final map of this series, and one of the things to consider is Pittsburgh. It was Pittsburgh's map on Inferno was the first call, but they lost to Georgia Tech, and then Georgia Tech on Vertigo, and Pittsburgh is the one that actually won that one.
So now we're seeing multiple FAMAS. FAMAS is FAMAS I. I don't know what the plural rendition of that one is, so I'm just going to go with see multiple FAMAS coming out for the side of Georgia Tech, doing some damage this round against those pistols. And then we see here Scotty and Danny closing it out. So the FAMAS round able to make it number 2 on the board for Georgia Tech. So we saw so far in this series that it's been about a 2-round, 3-round swing. I wonder if Pittsburgh is going to
what is this? Hello, Otter.
Ooh.
3rd round op on your losing side. Can we hop on board with Otter? What is going on here? Let's see if he tries to get this early mid pick.
Oh, just barely missed him, but that's going to be a
shot him through the wall. Now they know. Okay, well, they're also wondering glass cannon, AWP, and only a smoke. Okay, all right, let's see.
Yeah, you've got to imagine that know that either he does have armor or someone dropped him, but nonetheless, he has the AWP. And now they find one pick towards mid, and Scotty, and Stan's going to make his way up there, see what he can find, and also get himself. Oh no, he keeps himself with the MP7. Danny hears him. He doesn't want to check it just yet as he wants to keep his eyes onto connector. If we take a look at the bomb, is actually still in T-spawn, making its way over to Palace. And
that's because he got such a really good position here being Stan, but then, of course, he's going to get quickly traded because Danny's going, wait a minute, I gave that angle up too long. And then Hannercat, even though he did not have the health advantage, he did have the angle. Chris and Lucas, last two here for Georgia Tech. And Chris will get dropped. Bomb being planted, and Magister with the final kill air in the round. 2-1. The AWP didn't make an impact in the round, but it was nice to see how well they were able to take control and without even really having any weapons. But look on the other side there for Georgia Tech.
Well, I don't want to say it didn't make a difference because it tagged Danny early on. And so we saw that swing, as you just mentioned, on the angle. He had lower health, which just led to 1 or 2 bullets and able to close it out there. Had he had more health, that could have gone differently. And obviously, that was a big moment right there, just getting control over connector, which gave him the sight. Now Otter missing the shot, but it's against J Park's Deagle, which does not connect. But taking a little bit off the health of Otter, you're okay with that, still walking away with your life. And now we're seeing the pistols coming through for Georgia Tech. There should be a second round on the board here if you're Pittsburgh, and if you're very happy on the side of Georgia Tech with a third. Still playing it slow, that is. So, Corey, we've been talking about on Inferno. We saw a lot of attacking the bomb site. I don't feel like we saw too much of that on Vertigo. We saw a lot more slower, structured setups coming through. So in this time around, I wonder how many more attacks and hits we will see on the bomb sites. And as we see a B hit here.
Yeah, quick. Look at these. As again, now you got a Deagle save coming in from Georgia Tech. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more passive whenever you know the other team is on an eco. You don't want to be taking any risk and being impacted too quickly. Lucas has decided that this Deagle is shiny enough that he wants to keep it for another day.
That's an all right skin. What would you give that skin out of 10?
It's top. It's up there. Out of 10, probably 7.5, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've been trying to see what the sticker is on it. It's hard to tell. I can't tell what team. It looks like almost an LDLC type.
Well, that's his position. Maybe should have taken the time to get the aim adjusted there. And once again, shooting bodies. We've seen that a lot this series. So trying to get into the head of their opponents, even if just a little bit. But now it's 2-2. Pittsburgh able to tie it up after losing the pistol in the following, and that AWP seemingly is making the difference so far, as they don't have to bite now. That's going to help their money quite a bit. Danny finding one of his own, and let's see who wins the battle. It is Danny, but he takes out a Handercat. That is the rifle out of his hands.
Yeah, so Otter now going to hold this connector angle. He's going to allow Danny to have control over that window for a little bit. They're going to wait for his teammate. I don't know if it looks like Stan is not going to be there to be able to help him out, but Magister has made his way there. So he's going to make this call out, letting him know. But Danny is actually setting up, watching the window with his AWP. He's waiting for the boost up into the window. So you'll see him work over here towards the bench, probably jump across. But Danny has been holding this down, but enough time may have passed where he might start to kind of pull away from his own angle. Still holding it though. That's patience, and that's what you want to see from somebody like this at this later in the round. So we'll let him be for now because Magister is the one that's being pushing out and doesn't check his other angle. Now Danny's going to support Scottio even though he doesn't need to. And Otter and Stanzy Q, and Otter with the P250, but J Park from Catwalk. So 3-2 in favor of Georgia Tech.
A nice, slow, patient round for them there, and that's what we were talking about going into this map. Was what is the difference that the AWP will make in that round? We saw it from Danny. Now they've got a double setup on the J Park. It's just that slow play sometimes seems so difficult to come through when the right strat has come along, especially when you find a pick like that on the second time around. This time it's on
against Otter. Yeah, that's a big one against Otter. Handercat says, I'm going to try it myself. As he's picked up the AWP, and that nice little nade that fell in there, but does not cause any damage, just on the edge of that ledge. So Magister's going to continue to play these angles. They're kind of working a little bit more default style. Everything that we've seen so far is we've had Otter working inside of mid with Handercat. Magister has been working his way through the underpass to get towards mid. So they've all kind of been spreading. They've all got their kind of roles in the map. Now you heard that a little bit now. Magister is up high. Checking angles. He's got himself a nice little viewpoint there. He'll be contending in a second against Danny. But J Park has got got a couple players here. The bomb has been dropped still in T-spawn. They have not been ready to execute. There's one, and the molly comes out. He's going to try to double peek. He knew that there's another one. I'm a fan of that kind of call, trying to see if he could get another pick there.
I mean, it was Stan.
Nothing happened yet.
Going to go back and get the bomb. We see poking out mid. They see nothing. Hannercat's got to make a move sooner or later. They've got 30 seconds, and there's Danny finding the pick. Once again, that same position. As you mentioned, the patient play sometimes is too hard to come through when you're going default. Now they're going to have to go through Palace, or they've got 19 seconds. They need to go if they're going to go, and it seems like at this point they've decided to concede the round and just hold on to the guns.
Yeah, that's a good call. One of the things that that happens with new elements on maps like this is whenever they add it into the bench, which allows you to kind of boost yourself, it allows for a better accessibility, which means at that point more people want to do it. And so from there, now you're seeing Danny realizing that, hey, I've got teammates that are going to cover me from so many other angles. And Danny can watch that one angle and see catwalk as well, which means he covers his own ladder at the exact same time. And so that gives up connector and it gives up catwalk. But he's got two players that are playing there. They got Scotty that is actually over there towards the staircase. But this time, Magister playing super aggressive is able to take down Lucas, as I think he was actually probably inside of Palace. And Scotty O is going to be able to get one more. But oh no, Stan has an AK and they're causing so much damage. But now it's going to be left up to Otter. Otter with the AK. He's got a little bit of health. Bomb is planted. He's going to be just on the other side of this corner. He's going to get completely challenged and not win either one of those gunfights. And now the bomb is going to be defused 5-2 in favor of Georgia Tech. As J Park's going to pick himself up an op. There's going to be another op that should be somewhere around here. Yep, there it is. Okay.
That got scary. The way they actually challenged that. Chris was at 5 HP and J Park running on with the pistol. Had he just found one straight bullet that went through both of them, he could have closed that round out, and that would have spelled disaster on the side for Georgia Tech. Able to close it out, as you mentioned, 5-2 now. We're seeing the Tech 9s and the Deagles actually been doing quite a bit of damage. So now we're seeing a fast B hit now turned into a quiet B hit, but now we see Otter going underneath, seeing if there's any information there.
Magister is definitely the entry frag grease, trying to see if he can get the opening for his teammates.
Look at this damage they've done so far.
Yeah, now that was actually done on another part of the map as well. As J Park is taking so much, and there goes Scotty. Scotty's out. That was actually still over there towards connector. As they're going to start to head back. Danny is going to hold these angles, but the bomb is still going to be heading there towards the B bomb site. They're still challenging it, and Perry's saying, you know what, there, Hannercat, we probably should head back. We've got a lot of time. And Lucas is checking there towards the underpass. They both have that angle locked down. Now, the A bomb site is wide open. And they're running about. Now you're going to see some shifting happen here in just a second. They're still holding those angles.
I'm surprised Lucas is holding that spot with Danny. I don't think they need to have two people there. See, Danny and Lucas, they're holding down on mid. At least have one person on A site because it's completely vulnerable right now.
Well, what's happening is Danny is actually out of the window, and so for Danny to hold that angle, he has to have that support. Now you're seeing J Park actually be the one that rotates. And so they're going to continue to hold these angles. But J Park is going to have to be the one that does the damage. Now they heard that deagle shot. You'll hear the shift happen, and that's what's going to be able to finish the round. But basically, what they're trying to do is they wanted to close off the entry there towards the underpass, while allowing Lucas to be able to watch there towards mid. I think that's not great because what could end up happening is Lucas could be dropped quickly, and Danny is fully exposed there inside of mid. Of course, that scenario did not pan out that way. And luckily, J Park started to rotate early and allow his teammate to be there because they realized that the A bomb site was way too open.
And now they're contesting Danny at mid. We haven't seen this yet, and we haven't seen the smokes to try to cut him off. And Scotty's able to find one from connector. Now we're seeing J Park finding another from the B bomb site. Excuse me, from catwalk, and Magister's able to find the trade. So now he's taking it up towards ladder room to see if he can find Danny. He's just getting the tinfoil out of the way. And now we're going back to slow. As we see the bombs going through the B apartments, there's a player and Pierre trying to run his way back to his team. And we see Magister still holding from ladder room. There's only one player on the site here. And That is Chris.
Who is that? Yep, that's Magister. I was wondering where Magister was at because he's right in the middle. He's one of those. He could be definitely an impact player right here, right now. And there goes the smoke. He's going to fall back towards the bench, going to allow himself to have enough time for his teammates to be able to join him. Good job by Chris, not playing against that sidewall, which would have definitely put him in a tough spot. Bomb will get planted. He's been waiting for us. Now he's not in a really good spot now, but he does at least get in a limb there. Danny's going to drop Magister. Now it's down to a 1-on-2, or 1-on-3.
Now
Stan,
it's a 1-on-2.
let's see what Stan can do, and it's not going to be enough.
Lucas able to find the last one. They're going to have some bit of time to pick up the guns that they would like. They both have a kit, so no worries about the defuse, and it's 7-2. Money not looking great on the side of Pittsburgh either. That was an investment round. They had AKs, and there's going to be the second AWP. So they really enjoy this dual AWP setup. Jay Park and Danny holding so much control, finding their picks. So Jay Park last round, they got opened up a little bit just because they were able to find the opening on him and Cat. And it seems like, again, we've got a pause coming through. Corey, were we able to get any intel as to what's going on with these pauses?
Yeah, so we've talked with them about it, that they needed to reach out to us. This is just kind of a mishap in being able to have conversations about the rule set. They have to be able to communicate directly with us about if there is any tech pauses. We are not seeing any of the chat messages that are coming in here, but that is absolutely a problem. They're saying that they've got a tech pause that has happened. But next time we'll ensure that they know that they use any of the tactical pauses, and a request to have any other pauses later on. So this is just a mishap in the rules. Nothing that's been going to be too mission critical. We are keeping track of the number of pauses that are happening. So we'll continue to play forward. This is just a side effect of being online.
And not everyone is perfect, and if it's serving the same purpose, just making sure we're keeping count, as you mentioned. So no harm, no foul. And as we see, we're seeing a fast push through Cats for Stan. Jay Park's got a pretty forward position, but little does he know there are two players to his immediate left. And now he's got his back turned. No, he has the knowledge. And wow, nice pick there. Not able to find the third, and Magister puts him down to sleep. Getting traded, though, by Scotty. Has the AWP now. So I like what they're doing. They're switching it up. J Park wanted to get aggressive, so he took the M4, was able to find two. Scotty playing connector, as we see on the site, playing on the stairs at A. And now he's rotating on over to play, it looks like, towards mid, and actually looking through that area. Now Piers is looking to take it with his teammate Otter in the depths of mid. They're going to be pushing through. They're going to be met by no one as Scotty's holding this angle. This could be a good spot for them. They've shown that they like pushing through mid, jumping up there. We've seen that a lot so far, and it looks like that is going to be the right call. That's going to be a click of the head and a nice find there for Scotty. Good patience. And Corey, this is what we're talking about. This is what we've been talking about. The patience so far from Georgia Tech has been almost impenetrable.
Yeah, whenever you hold an angle long enough.
Oh.
Yeah. Otter's going to realize that that was a fault, but he doesn't have to be that aggressive after he does something like that. But he does bait out a player there. He's going to try to get another bomb plant here, and that's going to do it for him. He does get the bomb planted, but his teammates are going to go ahead and see if they want to be able to find some other weapons. It's really funny because so far Georgia Tech has had the ability to go shopping after each one of these bomb plants.
Yeah, they've had 2 buy rounds every round, it seems like. And that bomb plant's going to give the money they need onto the side of Pittsburgh to get some utility this time around. Last time they were a little dry, and now we're seeing a timeout correctly taken this time by Georgia Tech. Lucas hasn't bought anything, neither has Jay Park, so maybe they're needing some time to discuss some strategies.
Yeah, whenever you have this kind of lead, I'd be curious to see.
Oh, you know what it could be? They could just be testing it out of, hey, how do we actually take a timeout? I think we saw it earlier in the series, but
we did.
Now that one is expiring, and it seems like as if they are still on the way. And no, they're taking another timeout, so I'm wondering what's going on now. I hear some typing in the chat, and then once again, Jay Park and Lucas still haven't bought anything. So something I'm led to believe is going on with them. It seems like they figured out Lucas and now Jay Park. Okay, maybe they just wanted an extended timeout. So maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but we're heading into round 11 after this timeout. 8 to 2 in favor of Georgia Tech. Pittsburgh not able to penetrate the solid defense that is on Georgia Tech. This double AWP setup proving to be difficult to get around. Timeout number 3.
I think they're using all their timeouts from before.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
It's an assumption. I don't have any real critical idea.
Okay, so would that mean that they don't have any timeouts left?
I have no clue anymore.
Okay, well, I guess we'll tap in and see what's going on, but regardless, still heading into the same round. Seems like the players are ready. Here typing in the chat, so I'm just going to believe that's what they were doing, is catching up to the previous times out that they took, and now they only have 1 left. And reminder, that was Georgia Tech taking those timeouts. So Pittsburgh able to also utilize timeouts in their favor, even though they didn't take them. And so now we're seeing a fast hit onto onto mid. We haven't seen this yet from them. And they will find nothing. So that's going to be the information. They're going to leave 1 player behind there, and it's Lucas. And he's just going to camp here and call out what he sees. Sees nothing, but he sees utility coming out. Nice shot there from Scott. He's going to get 1 player coming out of a main. And now they're onto the site. The mines have gone down. The utility's gone down. Scotty can probably see another one. And Danny actually taking it from connector. Now J Park's getting on site. The bomb's going to get down. If they lose this round, they'll at least have a bye. And getting mixed up on my names, and it's left to Stan.
I don't know if they're ready for Stan to be here.
That's 1, and that is 2. Stan. We've seen him do that before. We saw that on Inferno. He had the 1v4 stands. That was a 1v5 stand he would have had to make, and now it is 9-2 in favor of Georgia Tech. They have both AWPs in their setup. Here's J Park once again. We saw him get the 1 onto the stairs. He goes up onto the site, and he finds Otter. Round number 12. So that round ended as soon as it started. Now we're seeing the players going towards mid a little bit more, and we'll see how they want to contest. Oh, there's actually 2 players going down mid this time. This could be a swing right here. If they're not able to find anything, a Lucas getting taken down quickly. We'll see if they expect another one in J Park. They do. They see him, and they take him down equally. He's now 3v5. This should be Pittsburgh's round. They've got control. They've now got a smoke onto Cat. They've got connector covered, and that's Danny going down in mid. Otter using that opportunity to run onto the B bomb site. It looks like that's where they're going to test their luck. Chris pushing his way through, not finding anything, but he hears it on the flip side.
He's going to get flanked here as well at the same time. Now he has to react to this player flanking gun. It's just not going to be right. It's just poor timing. And so that's going to leave it up to Scotty. There's 1. It's the right approach to check to see if there's somebody going to be that's over there going to be by Van.
I think if you're Pittsburgh here, you're not trying to take this off away. The money is way too short for them, and oh man, they keep giving these one-on-one battles. It's now suddenly doable. He's got a kit, and it is a 2v2. He's even checking for Otter, and if he hit that no-scope, that could have been dicey. But doesn't come through, and they pick up the AWP. Now it is 9-3 Pittsburgh. That mid push a little bit too aggressive on the side of Georgia Tech. Now we'll have to see how they adjust. I have a feeling they're going to go back to their default, slow, smooth, collected play, see what they can find. But now the AWP is in the hands of Otter. I think this is the first time we've seen this, or maybe the second time we've seen this. And now
we've seen it. We've seen it quite a bit. Where Otter will have the op. He's watching inside of mid, and he challenges against Danny.
Oh, you could hear the shot just whiz by on Otter. Scotty having a nice game for himself with 16 and 8 on the scoreboard. A lot of action going through. Man, he's going to find 1, not able to close it out. Magister coming out on top. 10 HP to his name, but he finds the kill, and that's an opening nonetheless. So the bomb is still down on the site. We're seeing now Magister's going back to grab it. Pushing through mid. 3 players taking their talents on over to a main, and they're just going to run on through. They don't care. They are going to take it. Lucas is going to see it. He's going to call it out, and now we're seeing the rotation come on the side for Georgia Tech. Danny's trying to spray through the smoke. No luck found there. Still 5 players alive. That's a smoke. They know Lucas is here. They're going to put some pressure on him. He's going to be able to find one, and that's Magister with a 10 health. Not able to find another one, and now it's a 4v2 retake for the AWP, and Jay Park instantly taken out, and he's going to save this gun, get as far away as he can. And now we're starting to see some momentum here for Pittsburgh, as that's going to be round number 4 as we get closer to the half.
What's been kind of interesting is watching Georgia Tech and how they're playing on the counter-terrorist side. You've got Lucas, which is, for the most part, been playing with an M4 by Ticket Booth. And then you've got Scotty, who's been over there by the staircase over by Connector. And then Danny inside of mid with an op watching through window. They really are kind of giving up the A bomb site. And I know Pittsburgh had just won another round, but some of the standard smokes in this game, the jungle, stair smoke, things like that, would easily win rounds against these guys because they're not being challenged all too often. Hindsight's 2020. We've got the observer side. We can see a lot more than everybody else. I mean, but it's really interesting to me that Georgia Tech is playing so incredibly passive. And here comes a all-out rush towards the A-bomb site, but J Park is here for this time. And J Park is going to get caught out in the open, and now they're going to see the rotate. Now you see they've already taken over the primary parts of the bomb site, and they've got 2 players already inside a CT spawn, but they've extended too far where Danny was there waiting for them.
The AWP not able to make an impact in this round. I don't think they'll even be able to collect it, but it is a 3v3. They were able to manage to get it down to that, at least Scotty. He's got himself a kit, and now they're finding some weapons. This might be doable. Well, Scotty's getting taken out as I say that. He's the one who had the kit, so if they had to go, it was then. Chris now being caught out, and it's Lucas with the AWP. I think he's going to try and find his way out of this round. He is. He's going to take the knives out and book it. That is round number 5 on the board for Pittsburgh. Once again, as you mentioned, Corey, we hadn't seen a fast round for them, and so that time, maybe acknowledged that the money was going to be broken and stormed their way out, found an unprepared J Park, got the frag, and then closed it out. So good stuff from them. And now we start seeing the utility coming through on the side of Georgia Tech. I wonder if that's going to be the step that now they take of, okay, now we have to start throwing some more default style smokes, but maybe even a fast B hit here.
Can Chris defend himself here?
Oh, that grenade's going to do a lot of damage if it goes through, hitting 3 targets, and they're calling it out.
Yeah, Chris this time playing on the wall. I think that's actually going to make a difference here. J Park is right there jumping inside the site. Chris trying to help out, but he's not helping out too much.
What
and
a
then
shot.
Stan just walking AK headshots. Scotty. This is the final round of the first half, so they're going to try the best that they can, but now it's left up to Scotty. Scotty picks up his second, that would be the second kill in this round for Georgia Tech. And he pushes through the smoke, tries for another one. That's not going to happen. 9-6. Ugh, look at the scoreboard. The last 4 rounds went to Pittsburgh. It was 9-2 at one point. And that's the score line that you want if you're Pittsburgh, allowing it to come all the way back like that. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Chris is at 2 kills right now.
It seemed like they were trying to take advantage of that hit B. They realized they were hitting mid all those times. They had success in the last round. Looked at the score, was like, well, if he's 2-7, maybe we want to try and test his aim this round. And that's exactly what they did. Wasn't able to find the shot, and they closed it out. So 9-6 the half. And on the flip side, we're seeing Georgia Tech. They're like, well, if it works for you last round, let's go ahead and give it a shot. The patent go B in pistol round.
Playing contact.
Here we go. Otter's the only one with utility and has 2 flashbangs. Lucas has 2 of his own. There goes the first one, and out goes the second. Now they're on the site. Handercat finds the first frag on the Chris. Scotty finding 1, finding 2. They've got the site, and now they just need to get the bomb down. That's a nice pick from Danny in market, and he's still keeping his position, looking for more. Now we see Otter. He's got the kit. He's going to start making his way out, and Danny's still holding this position. That should be an easy kill, but nice find from Otter, and the tray's there from Scott. That is 4 from him.
Scotty's playing really, really, really well right now.
He very well is. He is 22-11.
10-6. This is map number 3 of this best of 3, and Group C, whoever wins will advance into the playoffs. And so far, Georgia Tech is knocking at the door, trying to find their way in. J Park with the opening kill in mid. There's a lot of action happening as they're being very aggressive. Scotty's going to pick up another one, and all 4 of those players are gone and out of the round inside of mid. It was a slaughter.
Well, Chris still not having the best game of his life and gets opened up by Stan. So Stan finding a Galil for himself. They know where he's at, and there you go. You see the bomb going all the way around for Georgia Tech. They're going to get that extra money on the board, maybe even taking a little bit slower, not trying to give Stan anything else to work with. I'm sure they're thinking to themselves they'd love to get this gun away from him, as they would love to make him force him to buy a gun. Lucas on the hunt, and Lucas has a Bison again. Oh, they spotted him. There he is, Danny, seeing him with his head there. And
I don't know if they did spot him. The way they're playing, it doesn't seem like they did.
Okay, now that you mention it, he definitely doesn't seem like it. Oh, that doesn't matter anyways. Taking the gun out of their hands, he's going to upgrade, quote unquote, to a Galil.
It's an upgrade.
In the hands of some, it might be a downgrade, but I'm really bad with the Galil is what I'm trying to say. So,
well, let's assess everything based off of your talent levels.
That's way too hard. There's just not enough things that are as talented as I am, Corey.
11-6, Georgia Tech. And this will be a gun round coming in here for Pittsburgh. Otter inside of mid shuts down. The park is closed. Well, at least the J Park is.
He might be some people's favorite K-pop artist, but he's no longer a factor into this round as the Bison's not able to win that fight on Stan. And this is looking like a lights-out round here for Pittsburgh. What a shutdown. Danny's able to find 1. He's not able to find 2. A clean round for them, upgrading all of their guns. And only upgrading 1.
Wait,
but
did Otter die in that round? I apologize. I was curious of whether or not, whenever they were throwing their weapons around, if they accidentally dropped the weapon too early, and then the round ended.
I don't think so. The only person who spent 3,400 was Magister, and if I remember correctly, the M4 is like 3,300.
I don't remember right now. I think it's somewhere in there.
So I would assume that was the only thing that happened there, but a trade going out at mid as Lucas finds Magister on the flip side. Oof, there goes J Park. No man's land on the B apartments. Was able to make some noise, and there's only 2 people there, but the bomb is still at spawn. Chris taking his deagle, seeing what he can do with it. Let's follow along with Chris and see if he's able to find any heads on this B side. He is having a hard game. So maybe a nice 1 Deeg can feel pretty good and get his hopes up. And he finds a tag, I believe, and nothing more.
All right, they're creeping their way through towards the B site right now. Hannercat is going to be the one that's going to challenge, but he's inside of the B bomb site. And there will be a quick help coming in from Otter right after this. And there you have it. Hannercat and Otter just dropping him. And this should be about it, and that will do it. Stan says, I want a part of the party. He gets the invite and picks up the last kill. 11-8.
Okay, here we go, Corey. We're getting close. It's getting close here in the second half. Round number 20 is going to be a full save here on the side of Georgia Tech. Only Glocks to their name. No utility, no armor, no nothing. They've got the strongest weapon in the game, the bomb, but that's got to be planted first. I'm sure they'd love to get a bomb planted to get that extra money for themselves, but they've got to get a site. Tagging up Otter. From afar with those Glocks is really not going to do much, but hey, we'll take it where we can. Chris is the first to fall. As you see, the blood splattered across the walls on mid. The flyer not able to stretch enough to get Lucas out of position. They know he's there, however, and now trying to poke towards mid. Once again, they just keep hitting with these pea shooters. Unfortunately, from that range, even with head armor, it's not going to do all that much damage. And as you can see, not any luck on the side of Georgia Tech. The last person, Scotty, he's going to be taken down. 9th on the board for Pittsburgh. They've got a pretty good economy for themselves now. So if you're Georgia Tech, if you don't start getting some of these gun rounds, you're going to find yourself in a pretty rough position.
We'll take a look and see how we can dissect how Pittsburgh is playing this setup. You've got Perry is over there towards A off the start of this round. And there's going to be a quick flank right now. Look out for, who is that? They're actually going to be coming in quickly. Stan is, I believe that's Stan that's behind them right now. Yes. And Stan was able to take out 2. Man, wow, what a quick flank. He had a perfect spawn, went through the vents, through the window, down through underpass, and on the flank. It picks up 2. That is huge whenever you start to think about the fact that this is a gun round. And so now Scotty O and Lucas are now the last 2. And but the damage has been done.
That it has. So it seems like they are still committing to this B bomb site. Lucas, the one with the bomb, checking for a flank. Now this time, they don't need to have a second of that. They do not want seconds. They were already fed enough the first time with Stan coming around and finding 2. Once again, to your point, Corey, this is a gun round. Look at the money. J Park at $0. He'll end with 3,400, in which case does not give him very much into the next round. Scotty pushing on forwards through apps, joined by Lucas. They have to find at least 2 frags here to make this doable. Now the Molotov's going outside. They don't see anyone rotating off. There's one player towards bench unaffected. And now Lucas getting picked off. Jumping out is a nice pick from Scotty. And if he had the other one, he could have made it a potential. But Magister closing it out, 17 and 13, leaving off the side on his team. With Scotty and J Park on top the server, 24-19 respectively. And now we're seeing the money on the side of Georgia being broken. The Eagles coming out. 1 smoke grenade is now used, presumably going towards mid, trying to shut them down there. And maybe get a fast cat hit. That's not going to happen.
Getting that smoke right there over onto Catwalk each and every time has been so beneficial for them. It allows them to be very aggressive up inside of mid. As Magister's trying to draw someone out of that angle, not seeing anybody come out, so he knows that the mid is currently open. Chris, you got to do something. You got to find an opening for your team. Well, as now they're starting to head over here towards the A bomb site. There will be a challenge. It's going to be Pierre as well as Stan, and there you go. They're battling it out, and there's the Deagles that have been brought out by J Park. Magister with a spray.
Not able to find one, though, so that is going to be the bomb down. These Deagles have done some work, and now they're getting a bit spread out on the site. So obviously there's 2 kits in the hands of Magister and Hannercat. J Park able to find himself an M4.
Oh, there's that Maul. That Maul is going to hurt. Yep. And there's the smoke. It's a great smoke, too. It forces them to challenge. And they're going to get the defuse here, but there's going to be coming back around. He sprays them down. This is a good battle that we're going to have right here. Magister and J Park. And they're going to fake that, trying to be able to get the defuse. He's going to jump over the top, knows exactly where he's at. Can he be able to finish this one off? Bomb is going to still continue to be able to tick away here. Does he have time? It does not matter as J Park takes out Magister. And Georgia Tech, they were able to enter into the A bomb site with Deagles and then fight their way back out of it and get the, or fight their way through it and get the round. 12-10. Getting closer.
Absolutely getting closer. Walking away with the rifle there. Leaves J Park in a position to where he can at least get a gun next round. Trying to be aggressive on the B apartment side. He doesn't find anything. We've seen that before. No success. And as we were saying through this series, when J Park dies first, that becomes immensely harder for the rest of the team. We're seeing Chris having a slow game. Now Scotty, the other top fragger on the team, goes down. This round's already starting to crumble in the eyes of Georgia. And you have to wonder, how are they even going to take it back? We see a rotation coming on. There's 2 on A, 1 playing from the back of sight, the other playing in the middle of it. And Chris is going to be poking out connector, sees nothing. He's going to check ladder room, does not. And Mike gets shot in the back, does not. Magister taking his time. No need to get over aggressive here. Now Otter finding another one onto Danny as they try to push out through a ramp. Sees another one. He sees the forehead, and there goes the forehead. Lucas falling down. It's all up to Chris. He sees one. He sees none. Takes him out. Wasn't expecting the second on site. Pierre's going to close it out. That's 12-11. We're getting close to tying this one up. Corey, it was 8-2.
At one point, it was 9-2.
9-2. Okay, so Georgia Tech. Money, once again, not looking great here. They're going to have something, but not a lot to work with. They saw Deagles working out for them a few rounds ago. Now they're trying to take their odds again to the A site. So you see in Stan playing from connector, they have got more resource or more people this time prepared to swing over, as only one player is on that B bomb site.
Very passive play style from both of these teams on the counter-terror side.
But jumping out of Palace, as soon as you say that, and the Molotov, they're going to burn alive. And if not, Pierre's just going to pick them off one by one. Now, oh my gosh, just pre-firing, walking into bullets. The last person surviving is J Park, and he's got an AK. He's going to see what he can do. Oh, he's going to find two. It's not enough, however, and that is a tied-up game. We have 12-12 going to round 25. It's going to be a gun round for Georgia Tech, and of course it's going to be a gun round for Pittsburgh, as their economy is looking pretty sharp. Georgia Tech's got a mighty hill to climb in front of them if they lose this one.
There'll be several round bonus that will also help them, and they're on the T side, so it's not going to impact them too greatly. It will hurt, but you definitely want to win this round. Looking on the other side, like you said, Pittsburgh's doing well on their economy. They've got several of their players that are going to be set regardless if they win or lose this round as well.
Yeah, no, they've got the side. J Park able to find
Oh,
one, but he
he had
doesn't
to
close
turn.
it out. Scotty's going to find one, and now Chris Falls actually finds two. Danny and Lucas finding the kills that they need. They're going to get the bomb down, and just like that, what a fast hit coming up from Georgia Tech. Getting the bomb down, getting the guns out of the hands is mostly the important part here. Make it as expensive as you can. They don't want to give up anything here. They need this round absolutely.
So this is what I was talking about. Both of these teams have a very similar CT setup where they've got no one is actually playing inside of the A bomb site. And that's what I just question that. Diz down on 1-on-3. We'll let this kind of round pan out. And that's going to do it. It's so questioned because the smokes, throwing the smokes for jungle and throwing the smokes for the stairs are so easy. And look, like that's a tough angle to have to watch. You have openings. There's just so many different factors. I'm not following. I mean, again, the CT side has been the stronger side on both of these for on Mirage, but I don't think it's because of how the A bomb site is going to be. But there you go, Magister got a really good spawn, and he actually was able to pick him up after he went through the underpass.
Not the start you're looking for, Georgia Tech. Starting with a 4v5. Chris probably hitting his keyboard after that one. It's probably a little frustrating game for him. It's 5-17.
Now there has been a change in the tune here for Pittsburgh. You actually do have one player that's pushed up. That is Stan. Stan is pushed up inside of Palace. He's got a nice little angle here as he's trying to creep up the side of the wall. Spider pig, spider pig.
Man, it's been a long time since I've watched The Simpsons. That was a great movie. And now let's see how that position for Stan will work. At the least, it's information for him. And I wonder if Lucas will even check this angle. He will not. So Stan absolutely perfectly played from him. He's going to get the AK, and he's going to get on out of there. He did the job that he needed. Now Scotty might try to catch him coming out of Palace, and he sure does. Ooh, wait a second. He actually didn't kill him. The fire's going to close him out. And now Danny's stuck up there behind the fire all by himself all of a sudden. He's got the mighty task in front of him with 3 players.
You don't have a chance. There you go.
Looking to save the AWP at this point in time because the bomb is smack dab in the middle of the site. He's going to run as far as he can. Run, Danny, run, as that's going to conclude round number 26. We're going to be tied up at 13-13. Corey, as fast of a start we saw from Danny finding picks in mid, do you think he should try to get a little bit more aggressive this time, see what he get, or do you think they just need to start taking A hits?
Well, I mean, it was definitely interesting the fact that we finally saw Pittsburgh change their approach, but I think the only reason why they changed was because Stan wanted a better weapon. And he challenged. He was not contested at that point. We do have a timeout coming in here. I think Pittsburgh, or is that?
That's Georgia Tech's timeout.
Yeah, so that should be their final and last timeout. As these games have been paused numerous times. We'll see. Georgia Tech, Pittsburgh, tied at 13. Whoever wins this map will go into our 16-team double elimination playoff bracket that begins on May 5th.
While we sit in this downtime as the round begins, I just want to take a moment to really just bask in the glory that was this series. We saw it all. We saw some nice comebacks. We saw some nice flicks. We saw double collateral on Infernal with the Scout. This round has been the round that's been giving and giving more and more. And Chris, not able to find success in this round, and pushing out through Palace is another quick hit. Scotty not looking on to CT side, getting taken out from Ticket. Danny missing the shots and doesn't spell his demise. He's at 6 HP, and there's a player pushing up stairs. Lucas is going to cut him out. Lucas is going to cut another one out. Ticket's not going to expect 2, but sees another from Jungle. He's trying to take matters into his own hands. He's got 3. This is down to a one-on-one. He's got time, and he's making a lot of noise. I think he might be overthinking this one, Corey, but he's got the position. He's not going to find it, though. They had to get that round.
He overthought it.
They really needed that round, but Pittsburgh able to walk away with it, and that's going to be 14. Lucas so close, yet so far. Now the money's hurting on the side of Georgia Tech. They can make the decision now whether they want to invest into this one, see what they can find. They will not, and they will play for overtime next round, assuming they lose.
Yeah, man, Lucas, you had a shot at it. I think he overthought it for sure. He had a better path ahead of him because he knew where the last player was at.
Now it is a quick B hit here. Hannercat finding himself all alone. But a rotation coming from Magister on mid, and Scotty finding the shot. And now that's Danny going down. Oh my, Corey, we've got a round for ourselves. The bomb's going down. We still got 5 players alive. And if they're able to collect those guns and get onto healthy targets, then they could have a pretty good shot. Nonetheless, they still have a good shot as they're finding Otter getting taken down in market. And look at the money on the side of Pittsburgh. We didn't talk about that. Otter sitting at $50, and their loss bonus is non-existent. They're going to go into round number 29 with no money. They have to hold on to these guns. They got to give it up. What a clean hit we just saw from Georgia Tech on that B site.
Unreal. The fact that we even got to this point is something else. It all started with Scotty with that Deagle headshot there onto Magister, which definitely put Hannercat in a very, very tough spot. And man, so now we'll see what we'll see.
That's valid. We will see what we will see, Corey. And we have not seen overtime, however, in this whole tournament yet. So previously today, we saw 16-4 in the favor of Georgia Tech over Pittsburgh, but we have since gone the distance. 16-12 on Inferno, 16-13 on Vertigo, and now here we are in round 29, 14-14. This could not get any closer.
All right, so Scotty's setting himself up for a smoke. See where this one falls. So it's going to go ahead and smoke off Jungle, allowing them to be able to go through connector.
Now we're seeing the
No one's using it, though.
Yeah, now we're seeing the commitment
Just
of
a waste
Otter.
of a smoke.
Otter's running through, was rotating, and
Bomb is again. I don't know why that smoke was thrown.
And now we see Pierre in this forward position. We saw Stan have success with this, and that could be the catalyst that they need in this round. If he finds a pick there, that could throw a wrench into their plans, but they're not going to get the opportunity as they're going to take a hit. And Lucas, you do not need to take those fights so early. There's no one else on your team to back it up. Scotty's there, but he's in no position to try and take that fight. Now we see on site. And that's another one for Magister. He's finally taken down by Jay Park, but the damage has been done. Finding none on site is Danny. Is left to Chris and Danny. It is a 2v2 now. Danny finding the pick and one on side. Chris not finding the shot. He's having a rough game for himself. Danny has all to do, and they absolutely need to win this round. He sees the gun, he sees the shadow, he's banging it out, he finds one, and now this is the most important 1v1 of potentially these players' lives right now. Stan, they're playing Ring Around the Rosie. Danny's got the advantage, but what a shot from Stan. He is cold-blooded. He is getting 2K. He has 2 health left in the round, and that is going to send us to round number 30. Look, on the money on the side of Pittsburgh, it is still not great, and let's look at Danny again. He's going to slowly creep his way around. He had everything in his advantage, and what a sick shot. Look at that. peaked at the perfect moment, clicking the head. And here we go, Corey. We've got AKAs versus FAMAS.
Oh, that was a big, nice nade that came in there. And then J Park is going to challenge this, and that's what's going to do it. We're already Pittsburgh narrowing this down. There's going to be 3 players that are left alive, and one of which is Chris. And Chris has been struggling in this game. He needs to come out and help out his team. But Scottio and Danny, 2 very mission-critical players. All right. They start to kind of execute here towards the A bomb site. This time, Stan is underneath.
Stan has himself an 8K, so Scotty essentially has to win this duel and then immediately flick on over to the players at Ticket. It seems like they know that they're on this side. The utility's coming out from Palace. They're not checking it. They're not checking it. Scotty looked at him, but he was flashed, and now that's going to close it out. Stan putting the nail in the coffin. Cold-blooded Stan the man, 16-14 on Mirage. What a series.
That was a great series, coming all the way back, watching Georgia Tech and Pitt for the very first time earlier today, and then seeing it get to the point of where it's gotten to. This is a really big difference from what we've seen in the very first matchup. Do you remember that? Nuke, 16-4 was in favor of Georgia Tech in the very first time that we saw them here in Group C. We advanced to where we're at now, 16-12, 16-13, 16-14. It just keeps counting up till the point where Pittsburgh was able to kind of run away with that. That was just, wow, what a great game.
Really, what a great series. And if that's any light of any of the matches that we've got to come in this tournament, I am absolutely excited for this next day of matches. And even just to talk a little bit more about what we saw, that last round, it seems like that's what J Park was something about that B push that he did. It must be a comfort zone play for him, but every single time that we were on board with him, he got annihilated.
Yeah, whenever he was heading towards
no
B.
success at all. There was always 2 players there. Either they had the read or it was just really unlucky for him. But every single time he went there, he got picked off, and then they lost the round.
Yep. It was going to be a tough one. I mean, we saw it where he pushed up there. He was being challenged by 2 players in a full nade set. Molly's smokes behind him. He was fully choked off where he couldn't do anything there, but he had to make these most impressive shots. But he also probably felt like he had to do something. I think he feels probably he's one of those types of playmakers, and he felt like it was his time. He felt confident, and you want that. You want players to always feel confident. But sometimes you want to be able to make some shots happen. I'm not going to put it on to J Park. He played.
Absolutely not.
He played unbelievable. He played extremely well throughout this tournament. There's just a couple others that probably just need a little bit more put into a better comfort zone to be able to be a better successful player in a style tournament like this. But man, kudos to Pittsburgh and how they played throughout this entire tournament to turn around, right? Down 60, they lost their first map of the entire tournament, 16-4. Man. And then turning around, and then this has been crazy. They clawed their way back all the way to this point. I mean, they fought for every single map there at the end. And that's where we ended up. And I'm going to need some recollection because I believe it was the first map there. I mean, Georgia Tech won the first map of this best of 3. Am I correct on this?
They did. They took it 16-12. That was Inferno.
Wow.
So we saw 28 rounds of Counter-Strike, and then we saw 29 rounds, and then we saw 30 rounds.
Saw the full 30.
So we have absolutely gone the distance in this series, Corey.
Well, that's something to see. Watching these players just find it out. I mean, I was such a huge fan. But we'll talk about Magister for a second and the way that he played the game. It was just so in your face. You just could not unsee him. He was just always there, and he was winning some really, really impressive gunfights. But the same token, you could talk about Stan as well. Man, Stan had some really clutch rounds as we have it. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk with Stan for a second. Stan, you had a hellacious games all the way through, all 3 maps, and that's why we had to bring you into this one. But it is a team-based game. First of all, it's been a long day of Counter-Strike for you and your team. How was it for you?
It's just been exhausting. I mean, we didn't play well at the first game. We kind of didn't get our heads together in the first nuke match. You know, it's 16-4, and we barely even get warmed up. But we know what we're capable of, and we just come back strong, yeah.
So, Stan, I want to take you back to some really pivotal moments. Like, what goes through your head whenever you're in a 1v2, 1v3 scenario? How do you keep yourself so calm, cool, and collected?
I just kind of process information like where players are, and then try to isolate 1v1s, and yeah, just focus on one kill at a time. I'm not thinking too much. If it's 1v4, let's just start one by one, not entire game.
That's it. That's the perfect response, and that's exactly how you're supposed to handle those types of scenarios. Then we get into it later on. You and your teammate were facing off. I believe who was there on the B site in the very final few rounds there, and you had a ridiculous flick shot. How did your team react to that flick shot at the end to be able to help you guys kind of continue to push forward to getting this W?
We're actually not that excited. I feel like everyone's like calm for the next round. We're gonna be ready to take the final game.
Love
Like
it.
after we win the 1v1, I feel like the momentum swings coming to us because we're down 7-2 at the first half.
Yep.
Like almost entire game is like it's pretty hard on us. We made a lot of easy mistakes first half, but after a couple clutch rounds by me and my teammates, we kind of got it back together, and that round basically secured the entire game for us.
A bunch of cold-blooded killers on the team. You guys were calm in that moment. I was screaming. Thank you for helping me lose my voice. But one question I have for you is that as you mentioned, you guys have stayed so calm together and you played so well as a team. I've been asking this throughout the whole tournament. How long have you all been playing together?
Around 2 to 3 years almost. Like we play Collegiate Counter-Strike together. We play ESEA League for like 1 or 2 seasons. But we're just friends on the team, and we basically know each other in real life, and we hang out a lot, so that helps, I
Absolutely.
guess.
I have to ask the question: where's the photos that all of your headshots came from? Because I'm a huge fan of them all.
It was actually from one of our friends from Penn State. His name's John. Shout out to John. He took great photos of us at LAN. We're playing against Penn State at a local LAN at Pittsburgh, and he took those great photos, so we had those headshots.
Did you
They're
win?
actually pretty nice, right? Are they?
They are. They're fresh.
Yeah.
The important
Thank
question
you.
is, did you win that match in which the pictures were taken?
Of course. 2-0.
Okay, just had to make sure, because anytime you look at the picture, like, oh, well, we lost the match, but dude, look at my hair. Look at me.
My hair doesn't look like that no more because
the
I haven't got a haircut since quarantine.
Oh man, I feel you.
Yeah.
We're gonna see my hairstyle
Yeah.
develop greatly throughout this tournament,
That's
so
so good.
I am on board with that.
Yeah, the quarantine hair is definitely out.
Yeah, no, I miss no one but my barber.
I love it. Awesome. Well, I've asked this question to everybody, pretty stereotypical, but going into the playoffs now, what teams are you looking forward to playing against as you get into the matches that will start on May 5th?
We're really not. There's no particular opponents we're looking forward to play. We're just gonna, bring our best game, and whatever happens, happens. I guess. May
Absolutely.
the best win.
Well, Stan, do you have any last comments you want to share with us before we wrap up the overall show today?
I just feel kind of. When I saw like the stadium, I just feel, shit, I can't. Sorry,
No,
I can't play on stage like that, man.
You're completely fine to be able
Yeah.
to say stuff like that. The question that so I haven't asked you where are you at in your school years? Are you a freshman all the way up to a senior?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. All right, so that's some good news, Stan. So I've been sharing with each of the competitors that have been joining us here during our interviews. We wanted this to be a LAN event, but of course, all of the circumstances that came about, we worked really hard with the NACCS to go ahead and make this possible for us to be able to do this online. And so this event will be happening again every fall and every spring semester. This is, I'm a huge Counter-Strike junkie. I've been playing it since I was 12, so about 21 years. So I care about this game just as much as everybody else does, and so that's why I want to see a lot of these collegiate teams out here. So you will have the chance, you at least have the opportunity to be able to play up on this stage, and I'm excited about seeing you guys play in the playoffs, and we'll still have some really good stuff. So thank you again for joining us in the tournament, and we'll be seeing a lot of you, I imagine, you and your teammates, as we go through the actual double elimination bracket.
Thank you. I'm grateful for the production. It looks really nice, even with all the COVID things going on. So I'm just grateful to have this opportunity to play and compete.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Stan. we're going to see you going up. My last question before I let you go is actually, what are you going to be doing? Because we've got 5 days worth of break. Are you going to be? You're still a collegiate student, so the fact is you may be studying for exams. What's going on during these next 5 days?
I'm actually done with my finals,
Ooh,
so the
all
semester is
right, yes,
done. Yeah,
that's good.
probably prepare for the upcoming ESCA season.
Yep.
And I guess attend online classes for summer since I don't have nothing to do. You can't go out or
Right,
or travel no more. So
that's right. Well, Stan, thank you. Tell your teammates congratulations for us. That's going to kind of wrap things up. So Group C is done. And so we're going to have VCU and Pittsburgh. They're going to be the teams that are going to advance into our playoff bracket. And before we kind of wrap, let's take a look at what we've got for Group C. I just want to go and showcase what we've done throughout the day. So Group C, we started off Georgia Tech versus Pittsburgh. This is where they clawed their way back after being defeated 16-4. Georgia Tech then went off to face off against VCU. That was 16-14. And then Georgia Tech, they won the very first map 16-12. And then Pittsburgh said, you know what? It's time. They won those next two matches 16-13, 16-14, nail biters all the way to the end. I really think after watching, because I didn't feel like we got the right sample size from Pittsburgh in the very first time that we saw them. When I saw them in the first map of their first of that best of three right there, I really felt like we saw who they were. And it really was a pretty close type of mirror match between Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. They had some players that are very like one another. Magister was very similar to J Park. You had Danny, who was the series just continues to go on. They were all very Danny and Otter. I mean, they were basically a mirror match to one another. And in the end, Pittsburgh was the team that came out on top. Georgia Tech, do not put your heads down. The fact is, it was really good matches to watch all the way through. And you played a ton of Counter-Strike today. You had really 5 hours of Counter-Strike that we were watching from Georgia Tech. They were in every single match that we were broadcasting today. So we're with you. We feel for you. And again, we'll be having the opportunity to see you again at a finals that will be happening here at the stadium. John, do you have any comments about the day or the previous match that we just watched?
I don't even know what to say. I mean, what else could we really ask for? We saw some incredible matches. We saw the 16-4. Obviously, the start of the day was a little slow, but I don't think that really prepared us for what the rest of the day held. So we had a 16-14, a 16-12, a 16-13, and then a 16-14. I'm just glad we got to witness some great Counter-Strike action. I've been drinking my tea. I've been trying to keep my voice conditioned, but if we keep seeing rounds like that, I don't think I've got much longer in the pipes going for me, Corey.
I'll teach you a few different techniques. A lot of whiskey, a lot of honey. All right, so that's going to basically start to wrap things up, but I want to showcase a little bit more for you of where these all kind of fall into place. We now have 6 teams that have now made it into the double elimination playoff bracket. Robert Morris University, they were our first ones into the tournament, into the playoffs. They're sitting at the very tippity top. Then UConn right below them in the next matchup. VCU, that is there into that third position. We'll take a look now at the bottom side of the bracket. You've got St. Clair College. That was the second team to make it into the tournament. Miami University of Ohio, that was our 4th team. And then our 6th team coming into the tournament, which we just saw, was Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh will be in this tournament. And then soon, John, what I'm really excited about, what we're soon going to see is teams start to fall into place. Where we're actually going to see teams go, well, if I place first in this bracket, then I might have to play against these guys. And there's going to be a lot of other different things that are going to start to come into play because these brackets were already drawn up before the tournament started. We already knew where teams were going to fall in terms of where their potential is. And so now we're going to start to see teams start to question a little bit more about what they do when we start to get into EFGH.
Exactly, and I think we'll start seeing our past broadcasts starting to see a little bit more viewership as we get closer to those matches, as they're probably looking for any information that they can about the other teams. And as I'm sure we're doing the research, we obviously have all the paper in front of us. They have the same resources they can find. So I'm sure a lot of studying, as exams aside, will be taken in the next couple of days going into playoffs.
Absolutely. Whenever you're in the playoffs, it's a whole different scenario. You're now going, okay, well, this idea of being able to play in a tournament like this is a lot of fun. but soon it's going to start really, really making a difference for them. And thank you for all of you that have already also commented on the overall broadcast, the production quality. This is what we wanted to offer to the collegiate scene, and I'm happy we're at least being able to provide a little bit to you that you weren't expecting right out of the gate. So for myself and Jonathan O and the whole production crew that is making all of this possible, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll give you a full update of where that's going to fall right here from Esports Stadium Arlington. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow with Group D. See you soon.